What's up?
Evening, everyone.
Hey.
How's everyone doing?
Good
we're
evening.
all very welcome here to the very first episode of The Violet Madness here, hosted by Penny Dragon Games. And thanks everyone for tuning in to view us today. Just a couple of announcements before we get into the thick of things. In case you haven't seen it, DM Dave Gibson, our own player here at the Violet Madness. The last session on Friday ended with a literal bang. And if you didn't see it, you can catch the VOD for episode 8 of the Saffron saga, Minds and Magic, on Penny Dragon's YouTube when it drops on Monday. And you can watch the party walk up to a bandit's hideout and knock on the front door with some heated consequences, as a few of you already know. Then in 2 days' time, the Fellowship of the Fallen will be on, and the group have 22 days until the return of the Cryovian, and the preparations for the oncoming assault are still not complete. There's no safe haven for the people of Phandalin, and the time seems to be running out for them. Then lastly, next Friday at 7 p.m. At GMT, the adventures of the Churn Gang and the gang have travelled to Alderheart to rescue their friends from religious persecution. So yes, indeed, the Penny Dragon Games 2022 streams are back up and running, so tune in wherever you can. And just to give you then I suppose a brief introduction for the Violet Madness. This is episode 1. And this is going to take place in a homebrew region of Castonia, which is in a much larger continent area called Varelia. The actual geography and places and things like that isn't overly important right now. It's something that we'll kind of all learn as we go along, as the players themselves, the characters. Some of them are blow-ins from a different area, so they're not even familiar with these lands just yet. And there's also going to be some twists and turns along the way that are completely homebrewed as well, such as some monsters as well. So everyone will be in for a surprise at some point. I also want to thank Becca Connolly at Quadruple Bacon for the awesome character art for the guys here. Becca is a good friend of mine, and she's been drawing characters for D&D for an awful long time, so appreciate that. And the audio for tonight's game then as well is brought to you by Tabletop Audio. And last but not least, of course, are our players themselves. What's any adventure without the friends we make along the way? And I suppose introduction for myself as well. I'm Mark, your DM and your best friend. So for our characters then, we'll get started. So Stephen is up first.
Stephen here. I am playing Sir Tyrion Shadowbane, the Vengeance Paladin. And keep it simple and won't hold for everyone else. I'll pass on.
Very well. Next up is Dave.
Hey, I'm Dave Gibson. I'm playing Shatter Vicanus, who is a middle-aged half-elven cleric of the Grave Domain. He is about coming up on 6 foot tall, undercut with tight white hair tied into a tight plait. And he is sad, and he's goth, and he's bitter.
We love our sad goth boys. We do.
Andy is up next then with Mina.
Hi, my name's Andy, and I'll be playing Mina Dumont, who is a half-elven bard who's got this long curly hair and is standing super tall at 5'2".
Alrighty, and then we have Matt, who's playing Alfric.
Yes, I'm playing Alfric Elnarin. He's a half-elf wizard of the School of Evocation, and he is sort of in his mid-80s, so he has the look of sort of a middle-aged human man.
Perfect. And last but not least, then we have Jonathan playing Christina.
Hi, I will be playing Christina Moral. She is a human spore druid and stormkeeper ranger. She stands at 6'1", and she is known for having a cloud of bees following her.
It's always good to have her around at parties. So yeah, with all that then, just to give you a bit of background then about where this adventure is going to take us. So as you can see from the page here, we're going to be starting off in the town of Grendal. And Grendal is it's a small town in the northern side of Castonia, but it's known for its aristocratic nature, and it's home to this old grand theatre that's been around for almost centuries, been maintained by the people of the town, and most of the plays that first premiere in the country are shown in this grand theatre first. So our lucky players have secured tickets for themselves for the premiere of this new play that they're about to witness. And I'll bring you over to your theatre map. Alrighty, so here you are, sitting in the theatre. Now, the actual theatre itself is crowded. There's a few tokens scattered about the place, but every seat is filled. And yeah, the people around you are buzzing with excitement, and the chatter about the plays that is due to start at any moment, there's people just buzzing about it and talking about what they expect to see and things like that. And all of you, you're kind of unable to concentrate on any one excited voice. You turn your attention to the surroundings, and the Grand Theatre has truly earned its name. So the walls are draped with these kind of lusciously red velvet curtains, and the wall sconces are bejeweled with stones that have contrasting blue jewels, and the flames themselves, they burn with a hovering magical flame that just remains buoyant a few inches from the actual sconce itself. Looking up at the top, the ceiling is wooden, but every kind of piece of the ceiling from the entrance to the stage contains carvings into the dark hardwood, and scenes from pivotal moments of plays performed once upon a time in this very auditorium are masterfully immortalized into the grains of the wooden ceiling. You can only assume there's a spot somewhere left on the ceiling reserved for a scene from this play you're about to witness in the carved inside. So each of you, bar Christina, who's actually kind of just lurching to the back, kind of just standing and leaning up against one of the stone statues, you all have taken your seats. There's an upper area here where you can see Sir Tyrion sitting in these kind of like booths that's looking down on top of the stage. And yeah, people are just getting settled into their seats, and you kind of sink into your own seat as well when you kind of see that the lights on the sconces begin to dim and slowly fade. The music seems to slowly fade, or sorry, the light seems to slowly fade, and the music seems to get that bit louder. You hear a series of shushes and hushes around you as the play is clearly about to begin. And then the curtains draw. The first act plays out. It's about 30 minutes long, but it feels like 5. The acting, the music, and the choreography all drew you all in. Well, those of you who aren't not preoccupied looking around for other things. But as that happens, the actors kind of go off stage for that little brief intermission for Act 2. And with that, some of the stagehands start to rush on. And they kind of just rush on stage, and everyone seems to be kind of resume some hushed chatter. It's funny though, when the stagehands start kind of rushing on stage, they kind of form this kind of neat circle around the stage, and it's only after a few seconds you notice that they're not actually taking away any of the props. They seem to be just huddled in this circle. There's about 10 or 12 of them, and they seem to just start moving around. And it's only then through the hushed music that slowly actually comes to a full stop, that there seems to be uttering and chanting going on the stage. And after that, you see a light then begin to pulsate from the center mass of the huddled stagehands, who are You can't see their faces; they're all hunched in and bowed. And Sir Tyrion, from where you're sitting, you can see just ever so slightly behind the curtains of the stairs leading onto the stage, and you can see who you assume might be the stage manager or one of the choreographers or something like that, but they're just kind of looking out on the stage, kind of with their hands in their head going, they obviously don't know what's going on, but people in the crowd seem to think that this is like, oh, did Act 2 start straight away kind of thing? They kind of like, shh, something's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then something does happen. This light that was kind of pulsating from peering out from the gaps in the bodies of the people forming that circle just bursts, and everything goes black for a moment. And can I actually ask everyone to just make a Constitution check?
Okay.
You sure can.
Just
roll of the campaign.
Just a regular check.
Just a check, not a save. Yeah.
Where's my chat? 22.
That's a 5 for me.
22.
An 11.
And
I
solid
also
10.
I have a 10. Great.
Alrighty. Don't worry. That's no problem at all. It just means Dave is the first, or Shadar is the first to wake up.
Wake up. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, everything went black.
Oh.
And Shadar, you're the first to regain consciousness. I'm going to turn down the music ever so slightly because it's very loud.
Okay. Shadar will wake up and he'll grip his holy symbol, which is a kind of a bleached white raven skull, and he'll look around and it's instinctively reach for his mace, which is not there.
Yeah.
Curses. And he will immediately look for a threat or anything that has sort of that it seems responsible for him being in this predicament.
Absolutely. Roll a perception check.
Coming at you.
I suppose so. Everyone watching is aware. The guys came to
17.
this play completely unarmed and unarmored because it's just a play.
It's a play.
Why would you need weapons and armor? Tyrion, on the other hand, who's up in the booth, does have his weapons and armor. 17, Shadar. So the first thing, obviously, you notice is half the auditorium is destroyed. There's rubble and ruin everywhere. Half of the area you're in has just been wiped by mostly debris, but also what appears to be this kind of myconid substance and a kind of hardened fungal matter that has kind of overtaken half of the seats around the place. Either side of you, it's kind of like hard to pull yourself kind of over the rubble and get kind of basically out of your seat. But you look up to the sky, and you soon figure out where the rubble has come from. So the ceiling has actually caved in.
Okay.
And, the debris has fallen on most of the main seating area of the auditorium. However, you do notice that it is a bright, clear blue sky outside, which is funny because it was nighttime when you came into the play.
Yeah.
So what must have been a moment may have been a few hours.
Yeah, well, I look around just to gauge the debris and stuff like that. Does it look like days of weather have hit this place since the thing? Do I have like days of facial hair growth or anything? Or is it...
You,
How's my beard?
yeah. Well, it's a good indication for time.
So for you yourself, a lot of like your clothes and all that kind of stuff, just a little bit dusty. But you haven't like grown a massive beard or.
Okay, so it is ours.
Well, the kind of, I suppose, the debris, there is some kind of like dampness and rot going on in bits of the wood, but you do also realize that there is an awful lot of this violet colored fungus surrounding the room.
Avoiding that, I will head over to whoever is nearest to me. That looks like Mina. I will. I'll skirt. Using my Alt key, I will skirt that. Make my way over to here and try and I pass Elfric first. Then I will try and rouse him. My friend, it's imperative that you come to your senses. We're in grave danger.
You know, there is nothing in Act 1 that made me think the play would end that way. The special effects really were remarkable.
My friend. Does that rouse him, or do I?
Yeah.
Great.
Like,
Cool.
he was just kind of like knocked out, kind of.
Okay. My friend, we're in grave danger, it seems.
What kind of grave danger?
It's my favorite kind. But anyway, I'll give him a kind of a tap on the cheek.
Oh.
To your senses, my friend.
Oh, quite right. Oh,
And
my goodness.
Mina do the same.
Okay. I will tell you that as you're kind of passing through some of the destroyed bits of furniture and things, you do see like some of the audience members still kind of in their seats, but they don't seem to be moving. Some of them have kind of been overcome by whatever this thing is, this kind of fungal matter.
Okay. They've been overcome. Are they dead?
Yeah, well, a lot of them are very, very visibly dead. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
As in, like, yeah, they're not breathing or anything like that. And but yeah, you're able to shake Mina awake, or however you plan to bring her back to us.
Yeah. No, I'll give her a tap on the cheek and go, my friend, hurry.
What?
Wake! You must wake up in grave danger.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
What? And she's gonna just sit up and. What happened?
I have no idea. Talk about the audience being dead. What? Anyway.
A killer of a show. Here, help a lady up.
I'll give her my hand and help her up. Are you armed? I regrettably forgot to bring my weapons.
I am unarmed, but I've got a little magic up my sleeve.
As do I.
Is there anyone else?
This young fellow here. My friend.
Yes. Hello.
Presence is required.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm going to sort of clamber a little bit awkwardly over these seats here to come over to Mina and Shadar.
Since I am in the aisle, I do plan to take a couple steps in each direction, just checking on bodies that I assume are already dead.
Okay, are you just like checking for people who are basically alive, or?
Yeah, I'm looking for people that are knocked out.
Alrighty.
Survivors.
Can you roll a quick medicine check? I'll just take it as a general.
Sure can.
I'll do the same as well. If there's anyone that I can possibly heal.
11.
11.
Yeah, so you get to about here when you hear just a hello? What? I'm stuck under. Can someone help me? And it's coming from around here.
Ooh, I am not a strong person. But I will do my best, just kind of lift whatever's off of them.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just a wooden chair, really, more than anything
Oh,
else,
okay.
so.
Sorry, I thought it was rubble from the sky.
But you're able to kind of pull over a bit of the chair that was covering this person, and you see kind of scrambled on the floor before you this human woman. She's young enough. She seems to be about maybe 36. That's very precise, 35, 36, but yeah.
I've got a good eye for that.
And yeah, she's just covered in dust, and her arm was trapped under one of those chairs you pulled off, and she's able to kind of clamber forward, and she says, what has happened here? I was just a moment ago, I was the play, and good God, where are we?
We're still at the play, but it appears that we've been attacked, so help us stay calm, and we're looking for survivors.
Turn to me. Sorry.
No, she just says survivors. And she swiftly turns around and she says, my husband is here. He was right beside me.
Quickly, describe him, woman. Where is he? What does he look like?
Is he dead in the chair next to her?
You don't know. It's kind of covered in some of that goop.
I'll move over a little bit closer to her and say, "Are you hurt, woman?"
My arm is a bit sore, but I don't think it's broken.
Got her. Does she look like she needs healing? I could certainly.
No, like I mean,
Okay,
mechanically speaking, no, she hasn't taken any damage or
Okay.
anything like that.
Cool. Very well. Let's search for an husband.
Okay.
I'll do the rounds once she describes him.
Yeah.
Away
So
from the weird myconic stuff.
alrighty. So Shadar, while you are doing that, the next, well, it was a tie between Tyrion and Christina, but I'll take the one with the highest modifier. So, Tyrion, you come to your senses while this is happening downstairs.
Well, I think being a noble and being forced to go to many a play as a child, when Tyrion wakes up as a fluster and he stands and begins clapping until he realizes he hasn't been woken by the applause and he is shocked back into reality. And I think the first thing he's going to do at seeing the situation is look for the Duke Albertus Fenwell.
He is in the booth right beside you here, but he is lying, or sorry, he's just like sitting in his chair, just out cold. Well, you can see the rise and fall of his chest. He is breathing, but he seems to be out for the count.
He's definitely going to make his way to assess him.
Alrighty. Are you just kind of like not even checking out your surroundings? You're just dashing straight for him?
Yeah, he's the priority for the minute.
That's fair enough.
So he's here.
Let's see then. Yeah, so you see just a heap of fine dark robes that's kind of laying in this kind of half kind of broken chair nearly, just overlooking the balcony. And on closer inspection, you lean in to see that he's looking rather pale. But it's no doubt definitely Duke Albertus Fenwell, the lord of these lands, and as I said, there's a slight rise and fall underneath those robes, so you can tell that he is still breathing. Would you care to roll a medicine check for me, please?
Medicine, no problem.
Nice, 19. So you lightly drape the scattered robes to one side, though, so that it's all in a bit of a tuffle, and you just kind of take some of the robes and you just kind of set them aside so you can get a better look at him. And you give him a quick examination, and remembering your kind of field medic training, and you press lightly on his abdomen, and he lets out a little wheeze breath. He kind of goes. You can tell that he has definitely broken a rib. Yeah, and when you apply that pressure, he kind of just opens his eyes slightly and he says, "Who goes there?"
It is I, Duke. You seem to have picked a good night for the play. Something has happened. We need to get you down from here. The box doesn't look as stable as it did earlier this evening.
What the? Very well. Let me. I can't move. I can't move. Something is wrong.
And hearing his wail of pain, Tyrion will place his hand upon his abdomen and lay on hands for 5 points just to steady him a bit.
Yep. So I suppose, Elfric, from where you're standing, you just seen this kind of slight sliver of silver light from the balcony up above. And Tyrion, you placed your hands on just centimeters just over the wound, and then just gently touch where he's sustained the injury. And yeah, you can see kind of some of the blood returning to his face, and you can hear the magic going to work. And he just kind of pats himself. He says, God's be good to you. The pain has subsided. I believe I can stand.
Would I have recognized that as being of magical origin? You said that I would have noticed the glow.
You would have noticed. Like, if you want to roll Arcana,
Sure.
Since you're a wizard, I can't imagine it would be a terribly high DC.
See how we go.
See how you go. You can still roll those ones, you know. Yeah.
23.
Yeah, 23. You are definitely able to tell that some sort of magic has been cast up in the higher balconies.
Everybody up there, up at the balcony. I think somebody's casting a spell up there.
Who goes there?
Cautiously,
Yeah, you hear this.
Tyrion will kind of raise his head above, not too high to fully expose himself, but to get the view.
So yeah, you can all see then this, at first, this tuft of blonde hair, and then slowly then you see a pair of eyes, and then finally a full head peer over the balcony.
"'Tis I, Tyrion Shadowbane. I have a wounded man up here. Are you friend or are you foe?"
We're
Well,
friends so long
friend,
as you
I
didn't
should hope.
bring the ceiling down upon us.
Are you responsible for this devilry?
No, are you?
I was addressing Blondie up there.
Oh, sorry.
"Do you need a minute? Since you have a situation which you would rather bicker between yourselves, so I have a wounded man here. I'm bringing him down, and no, I am not responsible for this catastrophe."
Very well, I believe you for now. Bring your patient. I am a healer of sorts. I may be able to.
I'm aware of you.
Really? I have not had the pleasure.
And so Tyrion won't reply. He'll just begin to help the Duke down.
All right, can I ask for yourself, Tyrion, to make a perception check as you kind of? I take it you're kind of giving him a hand down this hall.
Yeah, like giving him a shoulder to lean on, taking the weight.
17. Yeah, so I suppose where you're standing, I suppose that statue to the north almost completely crumbled under the weight of the larger growths that have kind of accumulated along the walls there. But towards the stairs, further down, roughly around here, you spot a slimy purple tendril kind of slide into the crack in the wall behind some of the fungi, and it makes a horrid sound as it does.
Yummy.
Well, he's not a stupid man, so in seeing a tendril and the abundance of purple globules everywhere, Albert, Duke, you stay behind me at a safe distance. There is something fiendish ahead. And he will draw his sword and slowly start walking towards the.
So you're telling him to just stay there.
Yeah, no, well, to follow him, but like at a 15, 20 foot distance, so he's not.
Gotcha. I'll bring him to about there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get to the part of the corridor where you saw this, tendril just slide back into the wall. How do you approach getting past?
Well, let's say when he's close enough to the hole where he saw the tendril or tentacle, cautiously peer in, but like holding his sword ready to swing if needs be, just to see if anything shoots out or not.
Okay. Yeah, you peer into this kind of crack in the wall, and there's maybe like a 4 or 5 inch gap between this wooden wall and where the actual like stonework of I suppose the greater building would have been laid. So there's definitely some room to maneuver for something thin enough to navigate through the walls between those two sets of material, but nothing.
Like a false space behind plasterboard, kind of, right?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. It wouldn't be enough for like yourself or any other kind of humanoid to to kind of navigate through. You'd want to be maybe like 4 or 5 inches wide to kind of fit through it. But something viney and wavy like that tendril you saw would definitely be able to kind of shoot along these walls. For sure.
Plate armor isn't fitting in there. Seeing that the space is clear, I think Tyrion's shield has been mounted on his plate armor on his back under his cape. He'll take that out, place it, covering as much of the hole as he can, and Albert, quickly make way. There is something here with us. We are not alone.
And then that he gives a swift nod, and he's just like, yes. And he waits for you at the top of the stairs.
And then as he's passing, he will shout out, Shadar, and those of you on the floor, there's something here. I didn't get a good look at it, but it has tendrils. Beware.
So while he was investigating the tendrils, I think Mina would have gone towards the stage to see if any of the performers were there, if there's any scorched marks on the stage from the magic that was used.
Okay. So we'll just jump to Mina in just a second, actually, because
sure.
The last person to kind of come to in this scenario then would be Christina. So this will be kind of happening as Tyrion is guiding Albert down the hall. So Christina, you got kind of knocked out in a funny way. So you were watching the play from a standing position, and you were just kind of leaning up against this stone statue. When you wake up, you're still in that leaning position, but you're kind of held up in that standing position by some of this purple fungus that has kind of almost fused you with the. Well, not fused, but kind of acted as an adhesive for you to be kind of still propped up by this statue. So that is, you basically wake up on your own 2 feet, but you're kind of held up, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I suppose I'll call one of my bees, summon a nature spirit.
Mm-hmm. For which note? How just for the crack, or are they going to do something?
Well, the bees can lift me.
Okay, cool.
So, just large swimmer bees starts popping out of, I guess, under her leather sleeve.
Cool. Yeah. Sounds good. It's not. You're not. When I say it wasn't acting as an adhesive. It wasn't terribly strong. They just kind of.
Okay.
They just kind of lift. They kind of just lift you off. And Ilfric, Mina, Shadar, you all hear this, this bzzz from further down the hall as you turn around and see that a body is being kind of just lifted into the air by this kind of weird, staticky looking cloud of tiny black dots. And so some of this myconid substance, just with a long strain of just this weird ooze, just drops to the ground. And Christina, you are now free.
That's interesting. I'm gonna try and get as much as I can off my clothing, if there's any on there.
Yeah, there'd be a little bit of that residue.
Christina is honestly just gonna inspect it. What
Cool.
was holding her?
Roll a survival check. Cool. So 9 or 28. So you guys, you Christina, you've seen an awful lot of different types of molds and fungus and things like that, but this stuff is weird. It's like something you've never seen before. Now, look, you haven't seen it all. You kind of know that, but this is something else. It doesn't have some of the typical properties that fungus normally has.
Interesting. I suppose I'm seeing if my spores are interacting with it at all.
Sorry?
Spore druids have 10 feet of invisible necrotic spores floating around them.
Oh yeah, yep. They don't seem to interact with it all that much. Is there anything else you'd like to do before we kind of, I suppose, advance Tyrion coming down the stairs and etc.?
She's just gonna take a few glances around and wonder what happened. And
Okay.
I'll attempt to meet Tyrion as requested.
Sure.
So I'll pass by this woman here and I'll say, "My condolences, my dear. It seems your husband is most likely dead, probably died horrifically. Anyway, he's with the Raven Queen now."
Okay, as you meet Tyrion, then I'll just jump to Mina, then, who said she was going to inspect the stage. No, that's good. We'll kind of do it in a circular motion anyway. So, Mina, you seeing that Shadar was helping this woman who was searching for her husband, you approached the stage, and when you get there, you kind of peer over the I suppose the slightly elevated area there, and you do in fact see something. Can you roll a perception check for me, please?
Sure can. How's it? Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 will do. So yeah, the stage is ruined. Basically, you know, the curtains at the back are all sullied and torn to shreds, revealing, you know, a thick wall that was kind of broken in parts, revealing even more of that purpley fungus that is growing in the passageway at the back. You know, and that passageway is no doubt used for performers to kind of switch from stage left to stage right. So, but looking at the warped and split floorboards, you see a circular rune that seems to have been burned into the wood amidst the kind of smaller fungal growths and that are oozing through even the smallest splits in the timber. So there's something there.
Okay, I definitely want to make some note of that, whether it's drawing it out on a piece of paper or...
Good. Yeah. So you kind of, as best you can from where you're standing, because you're kind of at like an angled kind of view.
I'll get back. I'll get on the stage if it gives me a better
Okay.
view. Probably just up there.
You can go in this way, or you can hop onto the stage. It's not that high.
Yeah, I'll hop onto the stage probably here, not on the fungus or
Gotcha.
the symbol, but...
Yeah, okay, so you get a better look at it, and you're you kind of take down the basic, you know, shapes and some of the symbols that are kind of embedded around this rune.
Can I recognize anything about them? Like what kind of magic it's from? Like what kind of school of magic?
Yep, roll an Arcana check.
How's a natural 20?
First nat of the session.
Nice.
But a total of 24 is
Total
not
of
high
24.
enough. Is not
All
high
right.
enough for the DC.
Okay.
You're unsure. You've never seen the majority of these symbols before. You don't know what it does.
Okay.
Would I be able to investigate one of the dead bodies
Absolutely.
without touching it?
Yep. Just out of curiosity, whereabouts are you inspecting one of these poor souls? Whereabouts in the audience?
So I'd be looking. Did you say some of them would seem to sort of have this fungus sort of infesting them?
Mm.
Yeah. So I'd like to look at one of those and just looking at the sort of fungus itself, I suppose, really.
Okay, cool. So, so from where you're standing, I suppose there's a majority massing here. Like anywhere you see some of the purple on the map.
Okay, I'll take a closer look at this bit nearest to me. Yeah.
Can you roll a survival check?
Yes. 17.
Cool. Yeah, so it's for those poor souls who perished by these means and not by the rubble. It seems to have kind of infected them, and you're not sure of like how long the incubation period was, because you don't know how long you've been out, but some of the people that are just sitting in the chair are kind of covered from the feet up to the waist. You can't even see their waist and legs because they're just kind of overcome with this substance, but they're just kind of lying back in the chair, their skin almost as white as bone, and their face gaunt, as if just drained of life. But some of these fungal growths have kind of just grown on their person, like as in coming out through the skin and not
Sure.
on the clothes, kind of thing.
Okay, so I'll raise my voice slightly and say, just probably best not to touch any of this substance. Just a word of advice.
I think we probably should look for any more survivors and leave.
I agree.
I've never seen magic like this before. And I went to college for magic, so...
Oh, me too.
Ah!
So...
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, probably not the time for the reunions, my friends.
Oh,
Like
quite right.
Let's hasten.
Elfric, you hear this lady here going, you sir, can you help me, please?
Yes, of course. And I noticed that she's covered in dust, so I cast Prestidigitation to brush her off a little bit.
Nice. That's nice of you.
She wear a haircut as well.
Yeah, she's just kind of pointing at the seat beside her. Says, I found him. He's under here. I can see him.
Oh.
Can you help me? Can you help me? I must rescue him.
I may just be able to. Now, be careful. Try not to touch anything unusual. And I would like to cast telekinesis to try and lift any rubble or material that is covering the seat in question.
So she's still kind of pointing at this mass of this stuff. You know, it's a mix of kind of debris and kind of fungal matter and things like that. And she's still pointing at it when all of a sudden they just start to lift, and they just kind of lift over to one side, and you just kind of plop it down, not too harshly to drive dust and spores everywhere, but you just kind of set it down, and there, lo and behold, she was right. Someone kind of was under this massive stuff, but you can tell from where you are that this poor soul he's just kind of head down in the chair like that, and you can see from the back of his neck that some of the stuff is on his skin. And she says, he's alive. I can see he's breathing. Look.
Be careful now.
Are you coming up behind her, or no? Or she's kind of staying put, or are you staying put?
Oh, I'm keeping my distance.
Okay. And she starts to shake him. She's like, wake up. And then you just hear this psh. You see some sort of like liquid get shot up into the air. And she just covers her eyes. She goes, and writhes around in pain. And she comes out to the aisle and just falls to her knees. And she looks up at you, still screaming in pain. And she looks up, and there's just red blotchiness around her eyes. Like,
healer, is there a healer?
I can't see. It burns.
Yeah, I mean, I'll look over my shoulder and I invest the art of healing.
This lady is clearly in a great state of discomfort here.
At this point, Tyrion and Albrus Fenmel are down the stairs.
I'm going to hop off the stage and start making my way towards Miss Squirty over there.
Oh.
Easy now.
Quite the nickname.
Yeah. Who is screaming in pain? What has happened?
This woman is in peril.
Peril?
And I'm not skilled in the healing arts.
If able, Tyrion will start making his way down
I'm
the aisle with haste.
Tyrion, Christina.
Quickly, I've never seen anything like it.
Christina is going to watch from the top of the stairs.
Yeah, I imagine the boys will make it there before I do, but
I'll look over to Sir Tyrion and I'll say to him, "Are you sure your Duke is safe by himself back there?"
Oh, sorry, he followed.
Okay, cool, Grant.
My
Just in
bad.
case he didn't, I just want to put a shit up Sir Tyrion.
Don't worry. You don't need to steal another job from me.
What are you referring to, my friend?
Well, the entire reason that brought me to this godforsaken place was killed before I got here, thanks to you and your queen.
All the while you're bickering, this poor woman is just on her knees, hands over her eyes, going,
If
If
we
the
might
boys
tend
are
to the matter at
bickering,
hand.
I'll probably
Shadar is just confused. He's no idea what Tyrion's talking about.
I'll move forward and use a cure wounds while the boys are bickering.
Okay.
Walking through them like, excuse me.
Mark,
Yep.
since Christina's just watching, how high did the mist go into the air?
Oh, not overly high, maybe about 10 foot. It wasn't a mist, it was more like this liquidy kind of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will attempt to cure wounds.
Sure. You can go ahead and roll for that.
Oh, okay.
Well, just roll the HP. But so you use cure wounds, and it's that similar kind of healing light color that Elfric saw upstairs earlier on. And so you can see that the red blotches in her eyes just kind of subside, and she says, "Oh, the burning has stopped, but I still can't see." So she is currently suffering the blinded condition, and so she will not be able to see very well.
Well, look, try not to panic now, and I'm sure between the lot of us we can help you out of here.
How did you receive this injury?
These are questions we can ask outside.
I agree.
It's the fungus.
Well, did it explode or what? We should pass quite a amount of them to get out.
Like I said,
absolutely
outside.
fascinating.
Let's go
It
outside.
sprayed some sort of liquid in her face.
Terrible. Right. Are any of the doors still standing? Which way must we go?
So just for you guys would have come in any one of these three doors at the back where Christina is.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
The exits. Yeah.
beelining towards Christina. Just let's go.
I will also head in that direction. Would I be able to cast Mage Hand and take a sample of one of these purple blocks of fungus as I do so?
Absolutely, yeah. And Mage Hand is just kind of carrying it with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Actually, I do have some vials.
I imagine if they're stopping to take samples, then I have taken the civilians out of this place.
Yeah.
As long
Tyrion was
as-
going to stand at the
Dragon
back
Hair
and
right
escort them out.
Yeah, as long as the doors work. And I will mage hand open the door because I'm not touching whatever that is.
You ain't touching nothing.
I ain't touching nothing.
No, at least not until you got your hand sanitizer.
Right. What is that?
Squirting out everywhere, hitting people in the face.
So Mina, you're walking up the main kind of hallway to this theater. Can you roll me a dex save, please?
I sure can.
$16. Nice. Okay.
16.
You get to about here when you just kind of out of the corner of your eye, you just and just in time you see something just lurch out from under the seat trying to grab your ankle.
Oh
And-
no.
Yeah.
Oh no. That's a no, sir.
But it is a hand, and this dude here, he goes, "Please help me, I'm trapped."
Sure thing. Sure thing.
Just
In
ask
the
next
future,
time.
you can just call and ask.
I gotta keep you on your toes, But yeah, this is an elven gentleman. who who looks like was in very kind of fine robes, but is now covered in an awful lot of dirt and dust. And he's just trying to crawl out from underneath some of the turned over chairs.
Well, I've got 2 hands and a mage hand, so I will do what I can.
Yeah, you're pretty easily pull him out.
I have a mage hand with bees.
But this dude just you pull him out, and he kind of promptly gets to his feet with a little bit of a limp, and he kind of dusts himself off and goes, "What in the devil has happened around here?
I'll tell you outside."
You explain yourself right now, young lady. What is the meaning of this?
No,
What?
and I'll just walk. Just keep walking.
Okay.
As Mina passed by, I'm gonna say, "What's going? Are we leaving?"
Yes, we're leaving.
Okay.
And I'll get to the door, turn with a flourish. Come on, boys, and get back out. Because
Very well.
I'm not the smartest of folks, but it's a fungus and the dust and the liquid, and we probably shouldn't be breathing this stuff in. So I'm gonna go.
I'll make for the door as well.
Alrighty.
I suppose
Fighting
I'll take a
civilians under the
sample,
door.
or I guess I'll take the sample from Alfred and put it in the vial.
Yep.
Sure.
If that's what you want to do, that's perfectly fine. So yeah, you carefully, with the mage hand, just drop the specimen into the vial, and Christina just corks it. And
That's very helpful.
so we'll gather up these NPC tokens for you.
Yeah, should I just leave myself at the door?
Yeah, just leave yourself there. And Tyrion, as you're passing, this Elven man is still kind of stead where he is, and he's like, "What? You must explain what the devil is going on here."
What's going on is a catastrophe. Get out before the building collapses, you fool.
Actually,
Free
that's a
to
good
move, or
point.
is he stuck?
Very, very well, very well.
Mina will turn around and just poke her head back in the door. If anyone's still trapped, scream. Okay.
Yeah, seems to be all of us.
Alrighty, let me transfer you guys over to the next map, which would be the entranceway out into the town. Let me get
What,
these
you have
in.
the music?
Let me turn that down a small bit.
Top right corner.
Yep, so you guys are in the top right corner of the map. This is the
I
main
didn't-
entrance hall to the theater. I'll just pop those NPC tokens in there, and there you go.
Interesting.
So this would be the front door. You don't see any. You know from the hole in the roof that it is daytime, but you don't see any daylight coming from in between like the slits in the door.
Thanks for the bits, Kate. Thanks for sharing 100 bits.
Ah, thanks a million.
Ooh.
Thanks, Gibson, for 100 bits.
You're welcome.
The light not coming in, is it because things are kind of, can I tell visually from where I am if something's blocking it, or just
You can take a closer look and roll perception.
I don't see anything with my passive perception.
how close is close? I'll take a close look, but not like a close.
Yeah, from where you are, you can. And yeah, I keep forgetting about your passive perception shader. So
Yeah.
yeah, so you can see like little tiny keyhole beads of light along the underside of the door and along the sides. So something is up against the door.
Ah. Something's up against the door.
Thanks for the raid, 8-bit community. We just
Whoop.
everyone jumped
Oh,
in
nice.
with 24 viewers. Yep.
Hey.
Welcome along.
Nice. Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Come.
The guys are just leaving a theater out here and coming into the town proper.
Yes.
But they're too afraid to go near the door.
I
So
will
telekinesis
Oh,
lasts
I'm
for
sorry.
10 minutes. Would it still be active by any chance?
Say that again, Matt. Sorry.
Telekinesis can be held for 10 minutes. You
Sure,
can still use
yeah.
it. Would it
Yeah.
still be available to me?
Yeah, you'd have a minute or two left in it, I guess.
Okay.
Well, that's probably a bit harsh. Maybe 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, I would like to try and sort of throw my telekinetic force against the door to see if that can dislodge it at all.
Alrighty. Is there a damage roll for that?
I think it just says you can move an object up to 1,000 pounds in weight.
Okay. Yeah.
And I really hope that I'm not pushing a pool door because that would be embarrassing.
Oh my god.
You are now. I know. 1,000 pounds of force is more than enough to just, you feel like this is something ridiculously heavy up against this door, so you just throw everything you have at this, and the door just goes and just bursts open. You're kind of like taken aback for a moment with the intensity of the light that kind of comes out through the door, and the door to the actual theater itself just goes flying. Let me reveal the area for you.
Marginally easier than expected.
I will also mention those who are within 10 feet of Christina just smell like, I don't know, earth, I suppose.
I'd say it would be well overpowered by the rancid smell of putrid fungus that is overrun this town as you look outside the front door.
I did turn to thank Elfric, but I think I'm frozen in shock. Just
seems it's not just the
You said there was something blocking the door.
Yes, it was a lot of this purple fungus that was bearing up against the door.
And you did seem to be moving with some urgency earlier.
Christina's going to start walking forward because mushrooms are really no issue for her.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh.
So, Christina, you emerge into the kind of, I suppose, the market kind of area of this town, and around you, you can just see what was, to you, maybe an hour ago, a bustling, trading village, and everyone just kind of hopping on the bandwagon of this new play. This market was alive with people, jealous of those walking through the front door of the theater attending this play, but now it is barren. You don't see a soul. All you can see is just this violet fungus, and on the ground through the cobblestone is just this thick brown moss that is giving off just the worst odor. And the houses themselves, climbing along the ivy on the walls, is more of this violet colored fungus.
I have a very important question for you, Mark.
Absolutely, fire away.
Where is my horse?
Your horse, you remember...
Over there and over there and over there.
That's what I'm afraid of.
The stables are just by the town gate. You know that it's not too... Like, Grendel isn't an entirely huge town. It's more of a historical kind of little town than anything else. But
it was.
It was. But the stables are closer to the town gate, which is due southwest of here.
Is it like within a minute away if I was taking a run, or?
No, it would be further in. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Call over my shoulder to Elfric and say,
"Careful, there's a lot of that violet stuff there. There's not much room to get by."
That's very funny.
All right. Thank you. I agree. It's important to maintain a sense of humor during dire circumstances.
Yes.
I found.
Yes. And these are dire circumstances indeed.
Yes.
I don't know what could have caused this devastation.
So just a couple of housekeeping notes. Sorry to interrupt you, Dave. So, a couple of housekeeping notes on the town of Grendel. Some of you are staying in the Weary Quill Inn, which is located here.
Wish I could see in the darkness.
All my stuff is in there. Yeah, I'm definitely going there.
Then there's also some of you who know what Galfond Ilames's house is, and that's down here. And then there's another farm residence that some of you are aware of that is here, and then there's more stuff further into the town.
I need to go grab my things.
Yeah.
Very well. It seems everyone needs to grab their things. Let's do it one at a time, accompany each other, not split the party. That way we're protected.
Which place is closest?
Well, the inn is right there.
Well, some of you don't know where some other people need to go, so you probably need to hash that out.
Well, I hope Galfond is still out of town.
Where's the closest place? The inn, it seems.
I personally need to go to the farmhouse. It's where my hive is, along with my mushrooms.
So I'll walk towards the inn, kind of give Shadar a little bump on my shoulder and like, well, you can accompany me to the inn and
Very
they
well.
can go wherever they're going.
It's unwise to split the party, my friends. We should stick together.
Do not go alone. It isn't safe.
We also have the NPCs following behind us.
I think someone ought to look after the civilians as well.
Are we a party yet?
I'm not sure they're equipped
No.
to deal with these
Well,
kind of
strength in numbers and that,
circumstances.
you know what I mean. Send
Yes,
out
I
the
think
names.
until
Let's
we
make sure we're all equipped and then go our separate ways if needs be.
yes, yes, I agree with this. We must stick together until we find either more survivors or an answer. This entire situation doesn't smell right, Beg. The phrase.
Yes, I fear you may be right.
So very well. Mina must get her items from the Weird Quillian. Where's everyone else's items located?
Mine
I was
is
in Galfond Illimus's house, just south of here.
Very well. Weird Quill, Galfon's house, and so on and so forth. Are we in agreement?
Sounds good to me.
Very well. Lead on, Mina.
And I will. Have we been introduced to each other yet? I don't think so.
Not really. If you guys want to do that, you can absolutely go ahead.
we do need our stuff, but I think
Oh,
formalities
probably
can wait
not.
till later.
But I am going to head towards the inn.
Everyone's clamoring over the ruined stalls.
Yeah, you
And I figure at
absolutely-
this point there's not much distinction between anything.
Right.
I think it's pretty much a
Sorry.
ruin.
So so the front door is actually here.
Ah,
But you can peer in through windows if you guys like.
Are there any wines stalls that were selling wine on the way back? Sorry, on the way through.
Yes, actually, there would have been.
If there are any intact bottles, Shadar will definitely pocket one.
Yeah, why don't you roll an investigation check?
Oh, no, he's not good at that. Let's see. No, that's not too bad.
Probably get all the NPCs to move too.
Oh, that's a natural one, Mark.
Wow.
For a 2.
what
No.
First
You
that
don't-
one.
What-
don't
were you
think-
investigating?
To
The
see if
wine?
there are any intact bottles of wine,
Oh.
if anyone was like selling mead or anything. Shadar's got a pocket there.
You definitely saw a stall on your way to the
Mm.
theater, but the thing about these stalls in this market area is that it looks like this place was kind of like rushed in a hurry. Like people wanted to get out of here fast. Like there's crates toppled over. There's still some food on the food stalls, but they're now kind of just in a state of decay.
No worries.
But yeah, no bottles that are intact that you can find.
Damn it. Right.
So if the door opens with the mage hand, I will open the door with the mage hand.
Alrighty. It does. Let me open the door. There you go. So there, you see this kind of lounge area of the inn. Again, just completely taken over by this stuff, this violet stuff. But in this particular dwelling, you also notice that there's this kind of strands of purple gloop in the corners that are just like this this slime coming from ceiling to floor around the mushrooms.
Before you recklessly enter the building further, would you like to inform the rest of us where it is in the building you need to go?
So, Mina, you would have the room in the back to the right. It's the last door on the back, very back of the house on the right hand side.
Well, I'm on the right hand side, very, very back.
And
course you
Shadar, your room is across the room from Mina's. Across the hall from Mina's, excuse me.
Yeah, my stuff's not there, though, is it?
No.
No. Cool.
I knew you sounded familiar.
As you walk in the floorboards here, a lot of them are kind of torn and warped, and you hear that kind of dry creak as you put the weight of your boot onto the floor, and some dust from the ceiling falls on top of your head.
Okay, I'll move out of the way and brush it off and look up.
Yep. So there is another story to this inn, but the floorboards up there seem to be split and cracked. Does not seem to be very stable.
Upstairs.
Upstairs, yeah.
Are they split and cracked down, or has something gone up?
Nope, they're split. They're kind of, it's kind of convex, so it's drooping down. Something is weighing down, yeah. Something weighed down, so they're kind of split and splintered that way.
Where the ceiling, my friends? It does not look stable.
Tyrion will turn back out the door and just say to Alberus, Alberus, please stay vigilant. I must venture further in to assist this young lady. I shall be as quick as possible.
Well, Sir Tyrion, you just hold on there 1 second, sir. Is there, we're unarmed civilians. Is there anyone to stay with us in case something happens?
Well, unfortunately, at the minute, Alberus, I am the only armed individual, and I intend to arm as many of us as possible. And this young lady informs me she can be armed at the rear of this building.
I can keep an eye on them if need be.
Christina's just standing right here, right next to them, as she casts Great Bonfire right next to her.
Okay.
Seems to be in hand.
Alrighty. She has.
Follows Mina. I'll try to catch up with Mina.
Please be quick.
Oh, nothing to worry about. Don't worry.
I didn't want to go ahead on the map. Is it?
Yeah, no, I'll open this door for you.
Thank you kindly.
But bearing in mind that any heavy footsteps you make do cause that kind of dry creak at the floorboards and more.
Well, good thing I'm not wearing a lot of armor and insisting on going all the way into the building.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, Mina, you entered this
die.
nice, nice, cozy-looking hallway that has 3 doors. So, this room, or sorry, you can't see that. So, yeah, so the one you were at is your room, and then this one here would be Shader's quarters, and this room here you've never been in.
Not seen it paying, sorry.
Oh, have I been in Shadar's room?
Oh, sorry.
Not that he knows about.
Not that I'm aware of, my friend.
So this room here, you've never been in.
Okay.
This room that Mina is in front of is her room, and this one over here is Shadar's room.
I'll head to my room.
Yeah, I'll go to my room.
Okay.
I'll unlock the door, as I'm sure Mina will.
So there is a little chest in the corner of the room, Mina, that you know contains your gear, but everything else in this room is just destroyed. The bed is just collapsed and in a state of decay, and there's an awful lot of that purple slime, accompanied, as always, by the mushrooms kind of growing from the cracks in the walls. And Shadar, your room is very much the same, although you were had to settle with the box room.
I am a man of very little needs. Yes, a simple bed will do me, and a jar of water to wash myself.
In the interest of time, Mina's gonna grab everything and head out and put on her armor and stuff outside.
Gotcha. Yep. No
While they were searching the rooms, was this third room's door open?
It wasn't open, but it's unlocked.
I think, as a courtesy, Tyrion might just attempt to open the door to see if there could be survivors hiding.
Sure. You open the door, and
that's why you're opening the door. Sure.
It's a food prep area, so you kind of take it to think that this is where the innkeepers kind of prepared the lunches and breakfasts and dinners. But you do, at the far side of this room, amidst some of the more of this purple stuff, that actually roll a perception check.
Perception.
Yeah, okay. Peering your head around the door, this little kind of cupboard that had fallen to the ground. One of the doors swung open. Just you can just see the top of this this bottle, this corked bottle, and it's lying on its side, and you can see the contents of it are like a brightish red, but you can't see like the round bottom part of the flask, if you know what I mean. Just the neck of the bottle.
When we were outside, was Shadar making it obvious that he was looking for some?
Nah, I was just picking through the remnants of the stalls and whatnot, just kind of kicking through the debris and what. It wasn't going, he wouldn't have been uttering stuff out loud as,
Come here to me, sweet beverages. I must find thee wine.
nothing like that.
All right. Well, in that case, I think Tyrion will just leave the door open, seeing no one inside, and just wait for the others to leave and follow them out.
Okay.
Well,
You can
I'll
see
take
him
a
fucking
look.
tomorrow, so he might see you passing by.
I'll take a look into the room as I pass by. Yeah.
Yeah, make the same roll, perception. Actually, you don't need to.
Well, my passive's a 19.
My
Yeah.
pass is at 23.
So
Yeah,
Hey,
so we're
goddamn.
both fairly eagle-eyed.
If anyone so much as even breathes loudly when you're asleep.
Yeah, that's the hell.
the 3 eagle-eyed people.
Yeah, any eagle-eared, he hears like.
I'm gonna have to make sure
everyone
my
talking
tent is
downstairs.
very far from yours.
That's his perception of 23. Yeah, jeez. But peering in the door, it just like Sir Tyrion, you see like the top of a bottle. But
Where is it?
It's just poking out of the open door of this cupboard.
I'll pop in and just check it out carefully.
Okay.
Keep an eye out for anything dangerous or tentacles or mushrooms or anything.
Yeah, so you look around and you kind of fully open up the doors of this cabinet, and there on the ground with a little note kind of just pasted onto the bottle is this just round bottom flask full of a bright red liquid. It's definitely not wine, but I think you would have seen enough of them before to identify it as a potion of healing.
Oh, very good. I'll take that.
But there is a little note stuck onto it as
Yeah,
well.
I'll give it a read.
Just now?
Yeah, as I'm walking away with the bottle, I'll pull the note off and I will have a look.
Okay, so you're just walking away paying attention to the bottle.
And looking at the note, yeah.
Yeah, can you, before I read that out for you, can you roll a dex save?
Sure. Where is it? There we go. 12.
So you're kind of walking back out of the room, kind of head down, looking at the note, when you hear when your foot just presses down on one of the floorboards, and you just hear this loud.
Right.
And then you kind of look up and you see that above you is one of the larger of the only bathtub that's in the entire inn on the floor above it.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it falls and through the ceiling, and you dive out of the way, but it just gets you, just kind of catches your leg, and you're going to take 7 points of damage. Falling bathtub will do that to you, I guess.
Yeah.
Or no, not falling damage, bludgeoning damage. The bathtub itself was the thing. But so it kind of catches your leg, but you're able to yank it. You're able to yank it out. But hey, you got this sweet healing potion that didn't break in the skirmish. But on the note it just says, Robert.
Watch out for the bath.
Robert keeps cutting himself preparing the food. I had to purchase one of these things because he almost nicked one of his veins. Please make sure it doesn't happen again. Management.
Management, very good.
That's a lot of gold investment into the employees. I'm glad I need to space my paycheck.
That's a good healthcare plan.
Yeah, it's a good healthcare policy.
Their dental is shit though.
Crash, is everything all right?
Well, it seems the bathtub fell from the ceiling and crashed through the ceiling and hit me, and then it fell through the floor.
Are you all right?
It's a shame. It's a bit of a bruise, but it will be all right. Also, I found this healing potion. Rather fortuitous, don't you think?
Yeah. Counterintuitive one, might I?
Yes, well, it remains to be seen until I drink it, my friend.
Well, if you can walk, let us go before the lavatory follows.
Indeed.
You wouldn't want a chamber pot on your head, what?
Not a bucket. Yes, I agree, my friend.
Righty. So you guys have, are you out of the Weary Quillian now? Or are you still just in the hall?
I am outside.
Yeah, what if I walked out into the street?
Unless
The
something
rest of them?
happens on outside, yeah.
Cool. All right. So yeah, you've recovered your belongings from the inn. You've made yourselves that way that much little bit further into town. You guys are familiar with some of the other places around town. Now this building over here is a dwelling. You're not sure who's in there or what might be in there, who owns it or anything like that. But you do recognize this building down here as the Silver Anvil, the weaponsmith.
Yeah.
And this building over here, which is called wardrobes and witches and wardrobes. That store title was very generously provided by Eagle Nebula on Twitter. So thanks for that.
Well
Nice.
I like it.
Very nice.
And so that is essentially all the buildings in this area of town that you guys are familiar with.
Elfic. I believe you.
Christina's.
Sorry.
I was going to say Christina's looking into the resident's house, trying to peer over the mushrooms.
This part of it has completely bottom to top of the wall. There's nothing to peer past.
Okay. Well, can I use mold earth to remove the dirt under the mushrooms?
Sure.
I do
So
that.
you're going to try and like separate it out, kind of thing.
Yeah. See if
Okay.
it causes the mushrooms to collapse a little bit.
Yeah. So like, I mean, you kind of this small section of the earth, just at this part of the house, you kind of just open up, and suppose with nothing to rest on beneath it, the kind of weight of the collection of mushrooms just collapses in on itself and it falls. You actually kind of need to take a step back because it kind of falls a little bit forward as well. But you kind of see it coming, so that's okay. But peering through the window now, I don't have it enabled here, but you're looking into a kitchen. You know that the front door to this residence is just here, around the corner, but the kitchen is completely destroyed. There's more of this slime that is taken up most of the corners and walls of this room, and whoever was in this kitchen, the family, they were mid-meal and they left in a hurry by the looks of it. There's chairs kind of tipped over to one side, and some of the food on the plate is still plentiful, but obviously gone well off at this point.
Well, let's hope they made it out all right then. Christina's going to turn around and head back to the group saying, I need to go to the barn here because that's where my equipment is stored.
Where is it? Can you ping it again?
Just here. The front door is here. The Lockfist residence.
Well, we'd best see if we can find a way in then.
Oh, the door
Yes,
is
of
over
course.
here.
So at some point, I think as we're all roaming around, Mina is going to try and take another look at this purple fungus and determine if it's still magical or if it was placed there magically and is now natural.
Okay. Yep. I guess that will be another Arcana check.
Oh, that's how I do that.
Oof. Nope, I can't tell. So
yeah, like this stuff and its magical nature is just completely lost on you. You're not really able to get a good grasp on it at all.
So I would like to. I don't know what your ruling will be on this, but I'd like to try and cast Dispel Magic on some section
Sure.
of the fungus to see if it clears out or anything like that.
Yeah, sure. You can go ahead and try that.
Would you like me to roll for it? Anything less than 3rd level would
Okay.
end.
Nothing happens as you kind of just, you put your hands together and with a steady beat, kind of clapping motion of your hands, you cast Dispel Magic on a section of the fungus, but nothing happens once the spell ends. It just remains where it is.
Okay.
What were you trying there?
Well, I was wondering if this was still magical, if there was some spell or some curse that was causing the fungus to remain. I was attempting to dispel it, but it didn't seem to have any effect on it.
Well, it was a good idea. At least we can rule that out. I have something
Thank
I'd
you.
like to try as well. Ashley, don't be alarmed. And
Let's
I'd like
try.
to I'd like to draw my wand, take aim at an isolated piece of fungus, and cast a firebolt at it to see if fire has any effect against it.
Very, very studious of you. Yeah, so like you can like take this piece here, or wherever
Yeah,
you like
sure.
to fire it, or somewhere further afield. We'll say a safe distance. Anyway, you just pick a clump of this mushrooms and you fire off a firebolt at it, and something funny does happen. You send off the firebolt, and as soon as it collides, the hue of purple that it is seems to darken, and you can kind of see this mold not shrink or shrivel, but just darken.
Now that is interesting.
That is
Curious.
interesting.
I have something I would like to try as well, my friends.
And
Oh, please go
Go
right
for it.
ahead.
okay, so Shadar will turn to a piece of. He'll maybe move to here, and he'll look at this piece of fungus here, and he will cast Sacred Flame because he's interested to see
Okay.
if radiant damage or radiant energy does anything to it. So verbal and somatic, and he traces a sigil in the air and utters something in Elven, and a kind of a black radiant flame descends upon this fungus.
Nice.
By the time we get to combat, we'll all have wasted our spells. And
Yeah.
Yes, but I can't fit, my friend.
So like I mean,
Taxes the energy there.
you cast your sacred flame, and yes, this black radiant flame just kind of burns out from underneath this clump of mold, this clump of fungus, and it seems to, like, I suppose no different than what you'd expect if you were to fire this at like a normal piece of vegetation. It just kind of crisps up, and parts of it kind of fall to ash.
Okay.
But in terms of
Does it have the same effect that fire did?
no, it
No,
doesn't.
okay, good.
It seemed to the color of the mushroom seemed to darken with fire, but with the radiant, it's
Okay.
it had that kind of burning look to it, but it kind of just, as part of it, kind of just fell to ash onto the ground,
And
kind of sweeps away in the wind.
turn
Well,
to
that's
Elvin, and I'll
interesting.
say,
Yes, very curious. One more thing.
and I'll cast Toll the Dead on another piece, which does necrotic damage.
Okay, that's interesting.
You all hear a dolorous bell, just dong. It's more kind of inside your head than actually audible. And sorry, there's the Toll the Dead in the chat. So it would potentially do 3d8 or 3d12 if it's damaged.
Yeah, and much like the radiant spell, this necrotic bell that rings out, it just, you kind of see that vibration, the dong of the stuff, and it just seems to age and fall to pieces.
As expected. Is that the reaction?
Sorry.
For something living, that's the reaction that I would would have
Yeah.
expected. Okay, cool.
Nothing crazy out of the ordinary there.
We've learned something else this day, my friends.
Everything's
Yes. Well, good to know it's not completely invulnerable,
Yes.
whatever it is.
I think while everybody's been doing their investigations, Sir Tyrion will just take a minute just a few seconds to concentrate and just let his senses guide him and ask Torm what it is he's surrounded by, and he'll just do a divine sense 60 feet around himself.
So let me see. Oh yeah, so you need to have places desecrated or consecrated, right? Isn't that the one?
Oh yeah, you can detect celestial fiends and undead within 60 feet, and then consecrate, desecrate.
That's cool. Give me 2 seconds and I will check something.
So is no one with Christina then?
Well, yeah, we're all following her over. She's off the shift and everything.
Within 60 feet of you, you do get the sense that something fiendish is about.
I know the rough area, don't I? The rough, you know the location.
Yeah.
But you don't know exactly what it is.
It is all around you, my friend.
Oh,
Ah.
fiends.
Breathing
Fiends
down your
everywhere.
neck.
Yeah.
All around you.
You look uncomfortable, said Tyrion.
Yeah, you kind of see
Are we
this
in
wave
danger?
of this look of disgust on Tyrion's face. You know, it's as if like the place already smells pretty bad, but it just looks like you got a whiff of rotten eggs.
Is everything all right?
You're quite all right, sir.
No, we are surrounded by fiendish magics. I suggest everyone keeps their head in the swivel. It is quite rare you smell these things without someone behind them.
Sounds painful, but I will.
It's probably wise advice.
Christina, do not venture too far on your own.
Yeah, and as you say that, Christina is kind of walking around the corner of the house.
I'll stay and guard the civilians this time.
I'll stay with the
I'm quite
civilians.
intrigued by everything that's going on, so I'm gonna follow along.
Okay.
Christina's
I've got armor to
beelining it
put
for
on.
the farm.
Alrighty, so yeah, there is a back door here through the kind of pig pen area.
She's gonna summon a swarm of bees, mage hand, and
Nice.
try and push it open.
Yeah, and you do. It's on a very loose latch, and it just swings open to reveal, as you know, Christina, the lounge area. Because you've been in this house for the last day, the family took you in very kindly. But yeah, there's an awful lot more of this purple slime once again in this room. It's every house or every room you've been in from the inn, and looking in that kitchen, it seems to be much the same.
Well, Christina would know where the barn door is, yes?
So you know that the room you're staying in, there's a door around the corner, around this corner that leads to a hallway, and then at the end of that hallway is your bedroom.
Right. Well, Christina's going to go in.
And you make actually, no, you don't need to. When you walk into the room, you catch a faint glimpse of a humanoid figure laying prone underneath this gloop. But you also see the top of someone's head from behind the couch, not sitting on the couch, but you see, and then so Shadar brings someone back from the dead.
Sorry for clicking. I've never played a spellcaster in Roll20 before, and I keep clicking the wrong thing.
No worries.
I cast Revivify as a reaction.
He's just preempting what's about to happen to Christina. Yeah, you see this. What looks like a bald head at the on the top side of the couch, but they're not on the couch. It's almost as if someone is like kneeling down or hiding behind the couch. But you can you can see the top of their what appears to be a kind of bald head.
Would I know the bald head?
None of the members of this family are bald.
Who goes there?
And you hear this kind of and slowly a warforged figure, just Terminator style, just zoops up from behind the couch, and he says, "Hello, who goes there?" And I think that's a good place to actually take our break.
It's Mark. Oh, it's a million. See you guys in a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll talk to you guys in a few minutes.
See you in a few.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
All right, you guys, welcome back. Before we pick up where we left off, just say quick thanks to Carrick for the resub. And cheers
Thanks,
to
Terry.
Dr. Spanky for the follow as well. And yeah, so Christina, you entered this this dilapidated living room, and from behind the couch, you spotted someone, and you called out to them. And very slowly, after hearing this noise, a Warforged pops his head up from behind the couch very slowly, looks at you with a pale blue, faint dim light for eye sockets, and says, "Hello. Who goes there?"
She's a little caught off guard by this because she wasn't expecting a Warforged.
Nope.
Hi, I'm friend of this residence.
Please state your name.
Moral.
You are not a member of the Grendel community, are you?
No.
I see. Well, I will have to kindly ask you to leave. I'm permitted to protect the children in this house. And you are not welcome here until the master and the madam return.
I am actually staying at this house. They offered me residence here in the barn.
In the barn? You mean the room next to the... I see. No, you're a guest. A guest. Very well. I will... Yes, I will allow you to reclaim your belongings, but I would ask you, I am duty bound by the master and the madam to protect their child, or children. So please, come no closer. You can use this door, and he points to the door over to the hallway. And he says, please do not enter the utility room by the stairs. One of Sir's and Madam's daughters is in there.
I saw from the window outside that they had to rush out. Or it looks like they did.
Master and Madam went to seek help and left me in charge of their two daughters.
So I also noticed that you said there's a body covered in the gel.
Over here, yes. You can see a figure.
What's with that?
So you're pointing to...
Yes, I'm...
What's with that? Okay. He says, that is one of the girls which I am protecting.
I'm going to turn around to the other two behind me and said, well, I found one of the daughters of the residents. Apparently the other one's upstairs. And I'm going to slouch a little bit so they can look over me and point to the slime-covered person.
Oh dear. Well, that is very unfortunate.
Perhaps it would be pertinent to ask this individual when it was the last time he saw the Mr. and the Madame.
Bag. Waving again into the robot.
Okay.
When was the last time you saw them leave?
Just a point to note before I answered that, he said that the other daughter was in the utility just by the stairs, not actually upstairs. But
Okay.
yeah, so you ask him this, and his eyes kind of flicker for a moment as if thinking, and he says, it has been 93 days since I spoke with Master and Madam.
What?
It has been, hearing that, he says, it has been 93 days since I spoke with Master and Madam. Are your ears deficient?
3 months? That's impossible.
How have we not died of dehydration?
He must be malfunctioning or something.
Might I say, sir, in the back, not entirely impossible. And he kind of looks to the figure on the ground. This is Harry Lockfist, one of the daughters of Master and Madam, and she has been kept alive all this time. I would have thought she may have needed water or food, but this substance seems to have kept her alive all this
Can
time.
I sort of shuffle past the others into the room here?
If you like, unless one of the guys is trying to bar your path, I have no problem with that.
I really must take issue with this.
Actually, everyone saw Shadar do the radiant stuff, right?
Yeah, he was not keeping the secret.
Okay, perhaps we should probably get the group here to weigh in their opinion.
So Tyrion, would you be so kind as to fetch them?
Yes, but I believe you should make haste and retrieve your belongings.
Oh, yes, that's the next on the list.
I'm rather concerned by the notion that we were unconscious for the best part of 3 months.
I would be rather concerned that this being believes a child in that state is acceptable.
Well, that is a very good point,
judgment.
actually. It's a very good point indeed.
Right,
You there, Warforged. Do you consider this child to be well taken care of?
You may call me Scraps.
Oh, very well, Scraps. I'm Alfred. Nice to meet you.
You can kind of guess from his name that this dude is scratched, battered, a little bit torn. Also, a little bit of he's kind of half wood, half metal, but the bits of him that are made of wood, there are bits of mold and fungus growing from it. But yeah, he says, I cannot wake them up. And one of the girls, she woke up. She woke up quite a number of weeks ago, but she attacked me and tried to attack her sister. And well, this would be very displeasing to Master and Madam if I was to restrain the girl in a violent manner. But in order to protect the other and protect myself, I locked her into the utility, and she has been there since for weeks.
Well, that's
not requiring food or water. I can still hear her footsteps inside.
No, that is very interesting.
Could I do a medicine check on myself to see if I feel malnourished?
Absolutely. You don't need to roll. You don't need to roll.
Medicine check to see if you're hungry.
You don't need to roll for that.
That explains some days.
I suppose in the grand scheme of things, you're agitated and confused, but in terms of like nourishment, you're kind of just the same as you were walking into the theater. What seemed to be a couple of hours ago, but you've now learned to be several weeks.
Look, Scraps, I understand your faculties are limited by the nature of your being, but I really think you must allow us to search the premises and try to determine what has gone on here.
Well,
you must realise your master and mistress being absent for 93 days is most irregular.
I was asked to stay here until their return. I still await their return, but if you would like to look around, please.
I assure you we mean no harm.
I just ask that you stay away from the Master and Madam's 2 daughters.
Well, I'd actually quite like to take a look at the one that's been in the utility room.
Let's just wait till I get my things and the group comes here first.
Oh, yes, well, if you insist.
Christina's start taking a long time in there.
Well, I don't know exactly where it is. I need a ping really quick.
So it's out this door.
Okay,
and then,
there I am.
So while Christina is going into this hallway, the guys outside, is there anything in particular you're doing?
Yeah, walking over. Where's the woman? This is the woman here that was blinded, isn't it?
Yes, this one here.
Okay.
Have I had enough time to put my armor on?
So she's you can have donned your armor at this point. So she's kind of using the elven gentleman as kind of support. He's kind of guiding her wherever you guys go because she can't see. She's just kind of sobbing to herself.
Okay, I'll move close enough to her and I'll say, "You there, commoner?"
And she kind of looks up, not looking directly at you, like looking like
kind of Ray Charles kind of.
Yeah. Look in the complete opposite direction. Yes.
Yeah.
Very well. I'm about to cast some very, very expensive healing magic upon you. Commoners like you do not normally have access to spells at this level. But so consider yourself blessed. Now, it may hurt a little, but it should improve your eyesight somewhat.
And he gives her a stick to bite down on.
Bite this.
I've kind of imagined you just kind of like, without warning, you just bite this, shove it into her face.
Pretty much, yeah. And Shadar will cast Greater Restoration on her.
Ooh.
That is generous.
That is very generous.
Very generous.
So throw it into the thing. There you go.
So let's see. One of the following effects. Yeah. So
it should cure blindness.
So you saw from earlier that her eyes were all red and blotchy. And when Mina cast the Cure Wounds, the blotches subsided, but her eyes were still kind of had that kind of cloudy grey hue to it. But once you cast your Greater Restoration, you kind of just put both of your hands, but not touching her face or eyes. You just very close to them.
If I don't have to, I won't.
Yeah, no. And this this healing light,
humans,
commoners,
beams out, and this commoner can now see the light once again. And she kind of blinks, and kind of rubs her eyes, and she just looks at you just with that same kind of stern, null expression on your face. She just kind of again just gets down on her knees, and she just kind of.
Well, did it work? Did it work?
I can see. Thank you so much.
Very well.
Most gracious cleric.
Your vision has been granted by the power of the Raven Queen this day. Next time you pass one of our temples, make sure to pay. Drop some sort of donation or something.
I shall donate all the coin I can muster.
Very well. Make sure you do. See that you do, or I will return.
Who'd have thought the Raven Queen sponsored Specsavers? Cool. Yeah. Is there anything else from you guys before Christina delves further into the house?
I think Mina will walk up to Shadar as he's doing this healing and just kind of lets out a impressive. I'm Mina, by the way. I don't know if we've been introduced.
Shadar Vikenis, my name. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, my dear. Seem very capable.
Thank you. The pleasure's mine. But I was thinking that our friend in there, the one with all the bees, is taking quite a while to grab her stuff. Do you think she's okay?
It's anyone's guess at this stage. Are you suggesting that we follow them in?
I am.
Very well. Let the commoners fend for themselves. Is that it? Is that the plan?
I just think they're safer out here than they were before.
I'll go with that. You three, stay.
They're not dogs.
I know that.
But you said that the Duke is calling, actually, like, baffled that you spoke to him in such a manner. You cannot speak to me in such a way.
Sir, good sir, for your own safety, just please remain out here. We're gonna go check out something that could be dangerous. So, for your own safety, just chill out.
And I'll walk up to him and I'll say, "You, sir, we are now currently on the field of battle. Niceties and such, there's no place for them here. If I tell you to stay, you stay. It will mean your life. It will mean the difference between life and death. We do this for your safety, sir."
You kind of see him with that kind of stiff upper lip, and he kind of just I must speak to Sir Tyrion about you.
Sure. He'll be happy to take your complaints later.
Very well.
I'll walk down.
Okay.
So heading that way, I mean.
As you guys follow suit, Christina, you find yourself in the main hallway of this establishment, and looking in front of you, you see that the stairs before you has collapsed. But you're probably not all that interested about that, as what you need is at the end of this hall down here.
Yes.
And you can imagine that this doorway here is the utility room that the Scraps gentleman was referring to.
Well, Christina's gonna make her way over. And then before... Does she see the green on the ground?
This?
Yeah.
That is a tattered rug.
Okay.
Can you actually roll a perception check as you're kind of getting to that area of the hallway?
I'll roll, and also, heads up, I do have passive perception on 19 as well.
Okay. Everyone's so damn perceptive.
Not
We
everyone.
are.
Oh,
you were
that's
saying.
Oh, dearie me.
You had to jinx it.
You did. Yeah.
Double digit nat ones. Love it.
So
Love to see it.
the natural one, you see your end goal in sight, the door at the end of the hall. You're like, my stuff is there. That's where I need to go. That's what I'm gonna do. So
You're the bees.
you don't take heed of much else.
Would you say that she makes a beeline for the door?
Hey!
Oh god, we're gonna be hearing this the whole
could-
campaign.
You could actually say that she's just buzzing to get her equipment back.
Wow. Excellent.
You did this when you
I know.
chose.
I know exactly what I did. Shit. Well.
Oh, shooter photo says hello, bees.
Yeah.
Right, just opening that door.
I want to thank Go Shutter Photo for the sub.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Mo.
Cheers.
So Christina entering this room, very familiar to you. It's, a large open space room. I'm not sure how comfortable with that you were for your night's rest last night, but there it is. It was a nice room, nicely decorated, but as you can see now, it's just torn asunder. Even the hearth that is in the room has crumbled due to the stress of the amounts of kind of slime and porous mushrooms just breaking out between the cracks in the stone. But over here, you do see a slightly warped chest that has all of your bits and pieces in there.
Oh, where's my glaive? Where's my bees?
All in
Bees,
there.
come. I'm gonna
So, yeah.
go and open it and grab my
Yep.
glaive and my shield, which has the hive and mushrooms growing on it.
Everything that you had before going into the theater is all there. Everything there and accounted for.
But what's the state of the bees? Like, do they have a new queen? Is there a bigger hive?
They
Unionized.
they've unionized and have hit Christina with that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but actually, the bees are not in a good way. Actually, the horde that had accumulated on the back of your shield, Christina, has dwindled to all but a few, and the hive is kind of this weary husk, more so than a kind of living.
Oh, my dear
hive.
friends.
Yeah, they've just
Sorry I was
hung
gone
on
for so
there.
long.
Yeah.
Here, I slip my shield onto my back as I call to the few bees remaining and hold out my hand in front.
Okay.
So many bees.
Oh, sorry, you're actually wanting to physically count the bees?
Yes.
We'll say you could
Roll a D100.
No, I'm not rolling a D100. I would say in the palm of your hand, you're doing a kind of quick head count because time is kind of a factor here. You're thinking you can see maybe anywhere between 15 and 20 of them.
Oh. Do I see a queen? Is the queen
Yes,
still there?
yeah, Queen's still about. Yeah.
I gave the queen bee a little head scratch.
With absolute surgical precision. Yeah, that's totally fine.
And what about the mushrooms that are growing on the shield?
Mushrooms are actually perfectly fine.
They're
There's
mushrooms.
millions of them everywhere.
These are a different kind, my friend. But yeah, no, they're fine.
All right.
They were kind of thriving in this kind of dank, kind of humid conditions.
I
Nightmare
imagine-
Evil wants you to name all the bees, Mark.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, we
You guys,
actually,
you guys got time, right?
I think that's Aaron. That has to be Aaron, is
That
it?
Yeah,
has to be
100%.
Aaron.
Yeah, yeah.
well, we got little Joey right here. We got Billy.
Yeah.
We got
I am always caught on the hop on our Tuesday game.
Oh, amazing.
right. Well,
They
with
all
everything
start.
in-
They all start with the letter B. So there's Bill, Bert, Barry, Bethany,
Martha, Bartholomew, Betty,
Yeah,
Biddy.
yeah.
and Beatrice as well.
Yay!
Oh, of course.
Hey.
Well played, sir.
Goes without saying.
Unbelievable.
Anyway, with thanks for that, Aaron. With that out of the way, let's move swiftly onwards.
I imagine Shadar and I at this point have rounded the corner, and I think
you guys would be around.
Afric is the first one we would come across
Mhm.
running in.
I think while
Is this the
Christina,
scraps? Sorry.
sorry,
Go on.
That is the scraps shitter. Yeah, shitter.
The
one-
scraps?
Sorry, go on, Tyrion.
well, I think while
You were
Christina
there first.
had gone to retrieve her belongings, Tyrion intrigued will say, Scraps, out of curiosity, could you tell me how the child you say attacked you and the other looked? Did she appear her normal self, or had she changed?
Good question.
Oh yes, yes. She was definitely not herself. Her body has changed. She is morphed into something sinister, but she is still, in essence, the girl I was asked to protect. So I did what I was. Had to obey orders. I could not harm her. I locked her away. But no, she does not. She is but not even a remnant of her former self.
And immediately prior to this change, did she look like that? And he'll point to the child in the corner covered in mucus.
Where's that?
So you can't actually see it. It's just there's meant to be a child covered in mucus under
Let
that.
me actually reveal the token there. So yeah, there is actually a child kind of laying prone on the ground, covered in that kind of slime. And the Warforged, who introduced himself as Scraps, says no, she does not have any of the fungal matter growing on her skin. I believe for now she is okay. And he kind of like looks at you all when he says okay, as if he knows this is not okay, but okay in the circumstances of the situation.
Would I have arrived at this stage?
Yep, you're in the door, so is Mina.
As soon as I
You
see
have
Scraps,
arrived.
I'll be.
Scraps, my friend.
Sir Shadar,
Are
my
you all
goodness,
right?
it is a pleasure to see you again, sir.
Oh, they
How
know
goes
each
it?
other.
Yes.
What has befallen here?
I do not know. I haven't left the walls of this house and
I said here. The house.
the house.
Yeah, what has befallen here?
These strange occurrences of these mushrooms, this weird substance. It has penetrated the walls of this house and is
You
taken
were
us
conscious
from-
for this occurrence, were you?
I have been. I've been powered down a lot of the time, but I can still have my senses about me.
Did it just appear out of thin air, or was it laid or placed by some creature or creatures?
I was in the Silver Anvil when it happened. I was just closing up shop for the evening, and a brilliant blast of this pale turquoise-colored light just blasted off straight through the roof of the theater, and it shot into the sky like a beacon. And all of a sudden, this purple stuff just started to grow from the ground and along the walls, and all the vegetated just began to fester, and people ran. It snagged some people along the way as they fled, and pulled them in and overcame them. Others managed to flee the town, but Master and the Madam, they were in the house when it happened, and they went to take a look outside, and they said, look after the girls. We'll be back in a moment once we know what is going on and get out of here. And they never that it was 93 days ago. They haven't returned.
93 days, you say?
Yes,
I'm
I
sorry.
planned to mention that.
And I've no kind of beard growth or anything like that, or like I don't feel hungry or malnourished or anything. Nothing of the sort.
Nothing of the sort.
And I'll take a step towards him and I'll say,
Scraps, and did you take care of the girls? Riley's safe.
He looks to the child laying on the ground. He says, "Well, I cannot ascertain for certain if Harry is safe, but Juno is some sort of madness has befallen her."
I'll like safely, like not touching the goop. I'll immediately try and assess as to whether this child is alive or dead, or could do with some healing or anything else.
In the background, Mina is just 93 days. It's been 93 days since the show.
Should I roll a medicine check?
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Absolutely.
It's a great show.
I'm having an awesome time.
Coming at you. Medicine. That is a 17.
17, yeah. So she is definitely breathing. Now, you can see that beneath this, like she's not actually like stuck to this stuff. It's just kind of matted over her, kind of like cobwebs.
Yeah.
But she does seem to like have this kind of pale complexion about her.
Okay,
And,
I'll say to Scraps.
Scraps, fetch my equipment from the shop. I'll see what I can do for this one.
Shadar, you don't mean to say the child's alive under there, do you?
Seems this way.
Bizarre.
Shadar rolled his sleeves up.
This is my domain, my friend. I will try to heal her.
And as yourself and Elfric are kind of talking amongst each other, Scraps at the back going, Sir Shadar, I brought your belongings with me because I couldn't protect both. You asked me to look after your equipment.
Yes, well, my friend.
And he just kind of goes over here and pulls out a crate from this corner. All your equipment is inside.
Very well. Well done, Scraps. You've outdone yourself today, my friend. I'll see what I can do for this one.
Thank you. Yes.
So they're still alive.
Yes.
Any visible wounds?
Taking your last roll of 17, there are not.
There are not. I will go ahead and I will. So, what seems to be the issue? They're just unconscious. Is there shallow breathing, or is there anything I can identify as being, a major kind of symptom of what's going on here?
No, it's almost as if she's just like asleep in bed, and with instead of blankets, she's covered in this weird stuff.
Okay. Once I get my equipment, I'll rustle through. I believe I have a dagger or a knife of some sort. I'll try and just cut her free, and I'll ask for help.
Elfric, the Tyrion help to try and extricate this poor child in this situation.
I'll summon my mage hand to try and help.
Yeah,
I'm very wary of this stuff.
Careful,
would Christina
gloves
be
on, my
back?
friends.
so
Mina is gonna call up the stairs for her. So.
Sorry, after who? Sorry.
After Christina, who I don't know. So I'm just like, are you okay up there?
Oh, she didn't go upstairs. She just went down the hall. But yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know that.
Yeah, well, that's fair. That's fair.
You can also go up the hall. So.
Christina, do you respond to Mina's call?
I would take that as a good time to grab my glaive and start walking back.
Sure. And Shadar, then with the help of Alfric and Sir Tyrion, you kind of, you don't get any bits of like a sword or a dagger or a blade or whatever, and kind of hack some of the stuff away, and it just cuts like butter. And Alfric, staying well away, you use your mage hand to kind of help kind of drag the poor young girl out from underneath this, and I'll bring her out here.
Bring it to here, yeah.
Well,
sorry, go on.
sorry, Dave. No, you go ahead.
Oh, go on.
But I was just going to say, while Shadar was performing this, let's call it procedure to manipulate the mucus or the fungus, whatever way you want to phrase it, was the rest of the fungus in the room reacting in any fashion?
No, not at all.
Right. Okay.
Eerily quiet.
Okay, so I will. I'll try and just. What's the child's name?
Harry.
Well, Harry, can you hear me? And I'll just tap him on the cheek, a little bit harder than is necessary.
Yeah. Okay. And
You're a wizard now.
it's shortened from Harry, and it's a girl.
You're wizened now.
But yeah, so you kind of give her a quick kind of, wake up, slap, and yeah, she just goes, oh my god, what? Who are you?
What do you remember, child?
I remember Mama and Papa telling me Scraps is gonna just watch us for a few minutes, and then I felt really sleepy, and now I'm here. Where is
Scraps is here. Don't worry about Mama and Papa. They're busy. They are rather indisposed. And I'm gonna just do another, like with the 17 medicine. Are there any puncture wounds or points of entry or anything at all? Obviously, without taking the child's clothes off. I can see.
Yeah, so a little bit of maybe like this clear gunk with the same kind of it's same kind of consistency of like this slimy stuff, but it's clear. It's kind of like residue, kind of.
It's seeping out of a wound.
No. It's just kind of.
Oh, so it's just still on her. Okay.
But yeah, there's no open wounds, bruises, cuts, anything of that nature.
How do you feel, child? Answer me quickly.
I feel a little tired, and she's kind of like looking back at Scraps and back to you as like
tired. You've been asleep.
Well, yes, I didn't feel sleepy earlier though.
At this point, Christina comes back into the room.
Oh, and she recognizes you straight away.
Yeah.
She kind of perks up and says, "Oh, welcome back. Are you back from the play already? Wait, what is this stuff?" Looking around the room and just kind of like taking in that the living room is basically destroyed and there's mold everywhere.
Well, if I'm going to make an educated guess, it reminds me more of the mushrooms growing on my shield.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of, I guess. But there's some key kind of differences between the stuff growing on your shield and this new stuff that you've already seen for the first time.
Yeah.
Shadar, Scraps kind of chimes in and says,
Yes,
thank you. You've saved her. You've done more for her than I ever could have.
Are you sure I saved her?
Was
this substance consuming her in any way, or was it devouring her? Any
I cannot
adverse
say,
effects that you may have observed?
I don't think so. But for Juno, her health deteriorated quite swiftly after the stuff. She was covered in this stuff. After that, I do not know.
So you mean to tell me the other child was in the same predicament as this one, yet reacted differently?
Yes, that is what I'm saying. That is what
I need
noticed.
you must well tell me your findings. What happened? Describe it in minute detail.
She after several days, maybe perhaps near weeks, almost a month, yes, maybe 20 days, she began to stir, began to shake, and I could see from her that her complexion had gone ghastly white, and her skin began to grow the same type of mold that you see on the walls. And several more days, and she started to frenzy like stirring in a frenzied fashion. And one morning she sat up, spouting something I could not understand, and she meant to attack me and mean harm. She was not the young girl I once knew. Her body began to warp and contort, and it was I could do nothing but just wrestle her into the utility, and she's been there ever since.
So Shadar is very aware that he's just speaking all this in front of her sister, and like it's not even on his radar. He doesn't care about the emotional damage that this will do to her. He's just that's the kind of guy he is. Not that he's enjoying it. It just he doesn't even it like doesn't even register to him, and he's kind of raptured by this description, and he's taking it all in.
Well. I was gonna ask Alfric if he could use the cleaning magic on the young girl.
Oh yes, certainly, and for all the good it will do, I'll prestidigitate the kid.
Cool. And she is in awe to find that the dirt and grime that was once on her clothes is just vanished. Lifted off her clothes, and she kind of just looks down and goes, "Wow!" She kind of didn't really
not so bad after all.
She kind of didn't really register what Shadar and Scraps were kind of talking about. She's still very much kind of confused about what's going on right now. Where this only
Scraps,
moments ago.
May I suggest that you perhaps take Harry here, maybe into another room, whilst the rest of us attend to Juno?
Very well. Sir Shadar, you're going to save her too, aren't you?
Yes, but Elfric, why do you say that? This could be the last time that Harry sees Juno. Maybe.
Well, I don't think that. I'm sure a small child is not enough of a threat that we would have to do her any harm.
But let's not take anything off the table, my friend.
I'm sure we can restrain in a non-lethal fashion.
Perhaps this is a matter best discussed when Scraps has taken this fresh-faced young girl out to the other people from the town she may know. And
yes, you might be right.
Whatever.
Yeah, she'd been kind of tugging on Shadar's sleeve, saying, "Mister, what do you mean?"
Don't worry, you'll find out soon enough, my dear.
So the entire town has been infected by an almost certainly lethal fungus, and almost everybody here is dead.
I summon a mage hand worth of bees.
Be quiet.
This is great. We have one side of the party that's brutally honest, and another side that are just brutal.
Yeah, I think it's important to be factual.
Yes,
there's
very
time
important.
for everything.
Gender lines.
What is your name, my friend? Sorry, we were never introduced.
Me? My name is Alfric.
Elfric, Shadar, it's nice to meet you.
The pleasure is all mine, sir.
I enjoy your clinical and methodical personality and attitude.
I'm glad to meet someone of similar mindset.
Yes. Cut through the bullshit is what I say.
Yes, we'll get to the bottom of this together, I'm sure.
Straight to the truth. Very well.
So you guys are asking Scraps and Harry to move outside.
If that's possible, I will assist, follow them back out.
Sure. They're not going to venture far. They're going to stay kind of out here.
Oh yeah, she's just going to stay with them because.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I would like to, before we go in, I'm going to walk over here and close the door.
Yep, that's fine. You can do that. Kind of with a dry old creak, you kind of just lift it back onto that loose hinge it was on when you closed the door.
Before the door closes, Tyrion will look outside at Scraps and say, "Scraps, the best way for you to protect that child is no matter what you hear, allow her back in this building." And then allow the door to close.
Yeah, he doesn't get a chance to even respond to that.
Christina will hear it, that's for sure.
Take the time to don my armor.
Okay, yep, go for it.
Now, I hope I'm not being presumptuous here, but I'm going to assume at least one of you has some rope.
I do.
Excellent.
Dude.
You never know when you need rope.
Very versatile.
It's a bard, what do you expect?
So I think perhaps our best course of action here is one of you strong fellows opens the door. I shall attempt to restrain the feral child with a hold person spell, and then while she's held, Mina can tie her up.
A very logical plan, my friend.
And if anything goes wrong, just hit her over the head or something.
Flame strike. Yes.
No. I'm sure we've got it. No need to flame strike the child.
We all seem like competent individuals. I'm sure it won't come to that.
Very well. I'll remind you when it comes to that.
Very well. Who is taking point?
Tyrion. Well, he's going to attempt it anyway. And it was the door beside the stairs. And this
Yeah, this one just up here. You kind of have to almost edge past some of that, more of that gloop. And as you get to the door, you hear this kind of this, doof, doof. And then when you get to the door, it just stops, just goes doof, doof. And then you hear by the door, something breathing very heavily on the other side, as if it can almost smell something there.
I'm
This is rather
beginning to have a change of heart.
Suddenly that flame strike does not seem
You're right.
like too much, does it?
I concede.
You guys begin arguing, and the utility door begins to rattle.
We must
understand
remember,
me. It's your one chance to speak.
And
good idea.
As you speak out, Sir Tyrion, you just you hear this raspy, hoarse kind of like a growl on the other side. Yeah, it's not a very humanly noise.
Hey.
Yes, I from the description given by Scraps, I believe this child has long since passed, but
I will be the judge.
We can't discount that whatever is afflicting her might be curable.
well,
We should
let's
try to be as gentle as we can, within reason.
We'll be as gentle as we can until deemed unfit to do so.
Annihilation by the Raven Queen's flames is quick and slightly painful, but quick nonetheless.
It's not quick. I've seen many people burned to death. It takes hours.
Well, not this spell, my friend.
Well, have any preparations been made, or shall I open the door?
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go, my friend.
Mina,
Where's Mina?
Are you still chilling there in the living room?
Oh, sorry. That's.
Mina's just like, I'm good right here.
Yeah.
I'm good right here. I actually don't have access to see any of the other rooms.
Yeah, the door's not open yet.
You need to go to the door of this door
Door's
here.
here.
Other side.
The old dynamic lighting, you know yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My bad.
So, Tyrion, how are you addressing the situation? The door is kind of still rattling, and you're hearing that kind of hoarse, crackly kind of growl.
Is there a key left in the door? I'm assuming it has a lock if it was locked.
Yeah. Specifically looking out for a key. The door is locked, but you see it like on your side of the door, on a hook on the door jamb, just along the side.
But I think he'll.
So who's
shield
going
his-
in the door first?
We're not going in. We're
So Tyrion's
opening
going
the
to
door and
open it,
preparing.
and I'm going to
Okay.
attempt to cast Hold Person.
Okay.
So he'll hold up the shield on his left arm, and he'll reach for the key and insert it into the lock and turn.
All right. So you turn the lock and you open the door. It's a push door, so there's a little bit of give, but then whatever is behind the door kind of just backsteps and it swings open. And Sir Tyrion, what you see before you is no child you've ever seen. It's flesh is this fungus myconid kind of texture and look about it, and This child no longer has a face, a discernible one, just a mass of fungi.
Oh dear.
I will need everyone to roll initiative, except for Christina.
Oh, there's no macro. Cool. Let me go into my
Oh, fuck.
initiative.
Oh, I need to put in that macro. It's too
That
handy.
is the best macro ever.
A lot of sevens there.
Jesus.
Lucky 7. Wow.
Hey, that's 3 in a row.
777.
Wow. Okay.
Someone gets inspiration. It's got to be a roll.
Oh, look at that.
Right,
It's going first.
We're significantly
boy.
slower than a bunch of
Shambling infected. Jesus Christ, Mark.
By the way, about 75% of the monsters in this campaign are homebrewed by me.
Yeah,
Nice.
so
I look
don't
forward
bother
to
going to the
seeing
Monsters
someone.
Manual, viewers.
So yeah, anyone familiar with any of the monster manuals are in for a treat.
Won't help you here.
Yeah.
It is going to go first. First person it sees is Sir Tyrion, and it's going to try.
there?
Yeah, it is going to come out the door and just arms straight out. It's going to go, and it's going to try and lunge at you. Can you make a dex save, please?
Try.
Actually, sorry, it has to hit first if it hits.
Oh.
A 12, I'm sure, doesn't do it.
Straight into the shield.
Yeah,
Yeah, they say
you
12,000.
just hold up the shield to, two razor sharp claws out trying to get you. You just hold up the shield and fend it off and just kind of push it back. And it's going to try and reach out with one of those infected kind of myconid claws and try and swipe at you as it kind of recoils back. How about 21?
On the button.
Oh. Oh,
You're going to take 15 points of slashing damage and also 6 points of poison damage.
I do have a
This
quick
kid.
question, Mark. Didn't Matt or Alfred have the prepared hold person?
Yes, but it was also kind of, this is all, you were all kind of preparing a surprise
Just a
round.
little bit alarmed.
It was
Okay,
also
no.
ready for you guys, so this is all happening.
This is
in
all
Oh,
the
okay. Yeah, I
surprise
suppose it heard us coming,
Okay.
didn't it?
Yeah, that's
so
fair, yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
probably a monster, not a person.
so it gets a little kind of kink in your armor, Tyrion, and you can just feel that as it draws blood from your arm, from your upper arm, you just kind of feel a burning sensation as you take that extra 6 points of poison damage as well. And
Oh,
that's
that's
all it is going to do. So back to you, Sir Tyrion.
Yes.
Still going to cure it, are we?
I think you can go ahead and send her to the Raven Queen.
Well, I think
She is a mess.
But I thought you loved me. It shouts out. No, it doesn't.
a slight difference to what he had intended, but seeing it, he'll make one attempt to neutralize this effect. And before he draws his sword, he'll just shove his gauntlet hand onto the chest of the creature and blast in 5 points of radiance as he attempts to cure disease from this being
Hey.
with lay on hands.
All
I
right.
think you went
Then
first.
5 points.
Okay. Yeah, you again put your hands on this creature and you put the points of healing energy into it, but the myconid kind of flesh it has and its kind of deformed figure does not seem to reshape itself or fashion itself back into what you would consider normal human flesh. You are kind of getting the feeling that it's probably a little too far gone for that kind of thing.
Well, upon attempting that, he will say to us, "Torm has deemed this soul lost."
Anything else for your turn?
Oh, you send it to us?
Yeah. As I'm sure you would have seen the flash of radiance then.
I
but
deemed
nothing
the soul
happens.
lost before we entered the room. But anyway,
Is that everything for you, Tyrion?
Yes. Yeah, that'll be it. Yeah.
Cool. Mina, your turn.
I'm having the slightest bit of trouble with the layout. So is it possible that I could stand here?
Sure.
Or is that no, sorry. Like, I guess it's not possible because Roll20 won't let me do it.
Here,
You
I'll just
hold
put
down
you, like,
Alt,
over
you
here.
can stop between squares.
That's true. I'm thinking, is the hallway only one thick, or can I stand next to Sir Tyrion?
Yeah, like you can comfortably scooch, if you know what I mean.
I would like to comfortably scooch and cast Eldritch Blast.
All right, okay.
And so I get 3 beams. I forget. I think I can just click it, and it will roll it for me.
Ooh.
no.
Yeah, that won't do it.
The first one goes over the thing's head, crashes into the roof of the utility, and you just see a whole bunch of like debris fall in the room beyond.
Are we
Excellent.
doing critical fumbles?
We are. I'm gonna roll that table.
You know, I would like to say that I got the first nat 20 and you said it meant nothing. So this first nat 1 should also mean nothing.
This is an attack, so can you roll a D100 for me, please?
Carrion is saying crit fumble, crit fumble.
D3.
83. Wow.
Wow.
I'm given
That-
to understand the
that
higher
can't
numbers
be
are
good.
Yeah,
Are
the higher
not
the
great.
worse.
Your spell misfires and dazes you, causing you to lose track of the fight. You end your turn and move to the bottom of the initiative order at the start of the next round.
Oh.
All right.
That ends your turn just there.
Magic.
Yeah, well, that's the Paladin and the Eldritch Blast, you know. Cool. So, Ulfric, your turn.
Well, I'm going to stick with the initial plan, and I'm going to try to cast Hold Person on the creature with a Wisdom save DC of 18.
And yeah, it will roll a 13. So you can consider it held as its arms and legs just go rigid, as if bound by invisible rope.
It's all yours, Shadar.
Yeah.
We may need to put it out of its misery after all.
Very well. Everyone's sure, are we?
I don't think there's anything human left in this husk.
Very well. And
Try to preserve the body for study.
I have some bad news for you, my friend.
we cast Flame Strike. So target is a 10-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder of divine fire. It roars down, and the creature takes 46 fire and 46 radiant. And it's coming
very
up now.
impressive.
Right, so it's a dex save.
Yeah, DC 16. So that will be 30 points of damage.
What level is that?
Diggity damn.
Oh, that's 15.
It's going to roll a 20 on that save, though.
Yeah. It takes 15 points of
Yeah.
So if you
Hold on, it is being held at the moment, Mark.
Oh, that is
Oh yeah, very true.
correct.
So it takes double that, isn't it?
Well, it'll just fail the dex save.
Yeah, but if it's
Oh, and
paralyzed, then
and
it's an
critical.
auto crit. Yeah, so that's 60 points of damage.
Jesus.
Thanks, Matt.
Oh, you're quite welcome, Shadar. Anytime.
Yeah, you can just see parts of it like shrivel up with the combination of the flames. But Matt, normally in your experience, or Alfric, any creature you've encountered that has succumbed to the whole person spell, if they're killed while held, the spell just, you can feel, but this thing is still alive, I suppose.
I would have had to move to there to cast it, and
Interesting.
I'll move by.
Cool.
And I look at Tyrion and goes,
That's the spell I was talking about, my friend.
Sin's Diabra's quite effective.
Hold on, everybody.
Sun on the face.
Something doesn't feel quite right. I have a bad feeling it might still be alive.
What?
Well, normally if a creature expires whilst it's being held, the spell ends immediately, but that's not the case.
I'll poke my head around the door and poke it and go, hello. Hello.
It's still upright and still being held, but still upright, yeah.
I'll just move by and go, Tyrion, it's all yours.
I did like that spell though, Shadar. That was very impressive.
Very, very effective, my friend.
You make a good team.
Battle.
So the Shambling Infected is going to have to use that Wisdom save again to get out of that Hold Person spell. 17 won't do it though. So it's
Nice try.
going to continue to be held as Sir Tyrion draws nearer.
Seeing the decision made, he will draw his heirloom sword of Widow's Fury and attempt to slice off a mushroom steak.
Roll.
Jesus, that's a lot of dice.
It's advantage because it's held. Is it?
Yeah, so 18 will hit.
18 will hit, and then double damage. So
well, it won't be double because there's modifiers on your slashing damage.
I was about to say if it's a
Be
crit,
an additional
that
1d8, wouldn't it?
Well, an additional 1d8 for the sword for the radiant, and then 2d6 because it's a vicious longsword.
Okay.
So
Jesus
2d8.
Christ.
Nice.
So we're at 12 and 9, 21, and then 2d6. And so 39 points of damage.
Is the vicious longsword not 1d10 for? Because I'm just looking at it there and the roll and it says 1d10, not 2d6.
That's no, that right hand side is because it's a
That's if you
not variable. It's got two effects.
Oh,
it's one-handed or
yeah.
two-handed.
Sorry, yeah, you're dead right.
So the left hand is one-handed 1d8, and then the right is for if it's two-handed.
Cool.
The vicious effect is only on a crit. It doesn't
okay.
vicious effect.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't bother doing the math because your roll on the first roll was enough to kill it. So as this thing like collapses to the ground, Alfric, you're now.
Oh, that's done the trick.
Yeah, you're confident enough that has done the job.
Well played, my friend.
Yes.
So
Strike was true. Blessed, guided by Tom's vision.
Satyrion, are you quite all right though? I see the creature struck you.
Yes, I had worse. Thank you for your inquiry.
Can I insight check that? Does he think he's all right, or?
Sure.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I am concerned this affliction seems to be infectious.
Yeah, I don't know if you've communicated with him in private, Mark. So I'm just if he says he's okay, I'm just going to insight check that. That's fucking hell. +8 and I get a 12.
He looks like he's he knows what he's about, and you don't
looks fine.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at you anyway. And
But after all, you are a paladin, are you not?
I am.
Oh, you ought to be fine then.
Why is that?
They seem to be resistant to these affliction, don't they?
Right. Yes, this is true.
Well, I am a chosen right hand of Thor. We are acquitted with certain capabilities.
Nevertheless, keep an eye on yourself, good fellow. Look after yourself.
Indeed.
He'll flick the mushroom juice off Widow's Fury and resheath it.
Well, gentlemen, I have to say it's been quite interesting meeting you. But I think I'm going to go ahead and see if my horse is at the stables and get out of this godforsaken town.
Very well.
Or
Yeah.
God's
Hold on
forsaken
just a
town.
second.
That was the
That would be a
last
terribly
one.
irresponsible thing to do, you know.
How so?
If you've been here for 3 months, all manner of disease could be incubating within you. You could end up spreading whatever this horrible affliction is to the wider world. I think until we know a bit more of what we're up against here, you ought to stay put.
And risk catching this
Well, with all due respect,
Affliction?
we've been here for 3 months.
I
think
I doubt that.
Very
Look, he hasn't
curious
even
to
grown a
see.
beard.
Right. That's what I said. look, there's no growth there whatsoever.
it is strange.
Yes, well, that could be genetics.
And think about it. How could we have gone without eating or drinking for 3 whole months?
Indeed. In fact,
Does-
I'm feeling the call of nature right now. I feel like I need to go for a wee.
It does seem implausible, but
Is there a? Should I look?
I
I'm
would
looking for a chamber pot.
Yeah, you can presume that there is a privy somewhere around there.
Okay,
I wasn't going to waste my time painting in a toilet.
No worries.
I would like
don't
to.
Tell,
I
don't tell
have-
Kate that. Don't tell Kate that. So he's going to. Shadar will go and have a wee.
All right.
I have a dagger on me. I'd like to slice off.
Are you going to piss in the bed?
No, if there's a chamber pot there, you
went straight for the bed.
Well, there's normally a chamber pot under the bed.
All right, okay. Well, look,
Traditional location for a chamber pot.
Don't be
Really?
ashamed if
That
it happens
sounds
to you at that
terrible.
age.
Well, I mean, this is before privies and things. Yeah, for sure. So you would pull the chamber pot out to your business and then put it back under the bed, and the servants would collect it in the morning.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah. So he'll do his business and pop out. It's just a number one. It's grand.
I would quite like to cut off a piece of this creature with the dagger that I have, for future reference.
That seems like a much surer way to catch this disease.
Well,
I agree.
I'm being very careful, and we do have to make certain sacrifices in the name of inquiry and research.
And you are free to make those sacrifices. I think I'm going to go see if my horse is still in his stable.
But I tell you what, Mina, let us at the very least, accompany you to the stables. Make sure you get there safely, and then whatever you choose to do is your business.
Sure. I'll never turn down a friendly face.
Does there happen to be any cloth around, Mark, that I could wrap this in?
Yeah, there's like an old tattered carpet that you're standing on that you could probably tear.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of wrap it.
Sure.
Shadar, before you leave,
Yes.
I'm not exactly completely aware of all your capabilities, but I know in the past I've worked with clerics who had the ability to put a corpse at ease, to help them to...
Yes, indeed, I do have that ability. First off, why don't you explain yourself and tell me what you meant by your comments earlier?
Which one would that be, good fellow?
When you said that I'd what was it you said that I'd
Stolen my job.
Stolen your job, taken your work from you, as it were?
Yes. All in jest, of course. You see, I'm not from this continent at all. I've traveled a long distance for my church, and upon arriving to deal with an undead monstrosity, I am informed that I was beaten to the punch by a cleric of the Raven Queen who had a beautiful temperament and was staying in the village.
I see. Understood, my friend. Yes, I was sent here, the authority of the Corvid Cathedral, the headquarters of the Raven Queen, as it were. And yes, it seems we may have got our wires crossed, or our respective superiors may have crossed the job, as it were.
In times of need, people pray to various gods for hope. It's
I
not
believe they
uncommon
call it-
for more than one to answer.
I believe they call it a double tap. Anyway, yes, Shadar will approach the thing, and he will go to his spells. I thought I had it. And he will cast Gentle Repose, if that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, it's cantrip, isn't it?
No, it's second level spell, but he's cool with that.
Oh, fuck. Sorry.
Yeah. So he pulls out a pinch of salt and 1 copper piece placed on each of the corpse's eyes, which must remain there for the duration. The casting time is 1 action. And he touches the corpse, and he kneels. He takes a knee, and he whispers words, and he deliberately keeps them quiet.
And then he casts Gentle Repose.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys kind of watch on as Shader performs this this ritual, and you just kind of see, you kind of feel this kind of like, you know, that feeling that you have, kind of someone, that uncomfortable feeling that someone's kind of watching you, but also this kind of feeling of ease. It's a weird kind of mix of the two, but once the spell ends, that feeling kind of dissipates. But the body of the creature you have slain is left there, and no doubt you're assured that it'll be left there peacefully.
Really a terrible fate to befall a child. I hope they've found some peace now.
It's a cruel world, and hopefully this does ease their journey.
Well, I have assured it, my friend. She stands before the Raven Queen as we speak. She will be judged. And if she is found to be lacking, her soul is destined to torment in the hells.
Glorious.
It's quite unlikely,
Anyway.
seeing as she was a child, but you know, it's often it's often best to trot out what the worst possible scenario, as it were.
Among us adults, that is a fair point, Shadar, but I implore you, when we go out to the child's sibling, we don't say that. No mention of the hells, eternal torment. We just say that her sister has gone with her parents,
So I
and
should.
that she should remain with Scraps.
It seems. It does not seem efficient, or does not seem right that we lie to her. You know.
It's not a lie.
Best deal with these things head on. I mean, should I also tell her that the frost demon that wears the red fluffy clothes and delivers presents to people in the depths of winter is not real either?
I'd like to go towards the kid while they're arguing about what to say towards the kid.
Christina's been out here the whole time with them, so
Yeah.
I think our business is concluded in here.
So Tyrion, you just do the talking. It seems easier.
Well, yes. As Alfric kind of finishes up his mini autopsy to get a sample and walks away, Tyrion will just say to Shadar, "Quite nimble for an older fellow."
I thought that myself. He seems rather spry, if you will.
I'm rather engrossed in my thoughts, so
I wonder if he has some sort of tincture or tonic he takes, or some sort of cream he rubs in his joints or something. I must inquire.
On the topic of cutting up the creature, Mark, am I able to discern anything of interest about it by sort of studying it?
Roll a medicine check, please.
Okay.
Ooh,
With a 9, I don't expect.
Look, without the proper kind of like scientific equipment, like, you know,
Yeah.
your emblemics and things like that, and your tools, you can't really, not, you know, in a ruined hallway of someone's dilapidated house, can you discern
Understandable.
anything of interest, unfortunately, at this time.
Well, hopefully I can study my sample under more favourable conditions.
Alrighty. Are you guys moving on then back outside?
Yeah.
Deadly. So you open up the door to find Christina, Harry, and Scraps waiting for you in the courtyard side, the kind of pigsty area. And Shadar, as you kind of poke your head out around the corner, you see Duke Fenwell just kind of like poking his head around, going, "Are you done yet? Have you gotten your belongings?"
I told you to stay where you are.
He's a very insistent fellow.
I say.
You say what, my friend?
I say I've never encountered such a brute in all of my time.
Brute, you say?
That walks within my city gates.
Well, indeed. I was summoned here by the Temple of the Raven Queen to deal with your problem in the outlying fields. Never once was I greeted by you or your agents. All I find is a ticket for a play in my lodgings. And you're the one who talked to me about manners. I shall have a report for the Corvid Cathedral when I return.
And I for you.
You wouldn't be the first.
I don't doubt it. So
I need
Tyrion.
to see if I have another flame strike left.
I'm
only joking.
Mark.
Yeah.
I suppose in the meantime, while Christina's been out there, she's been thinking about what's been going on for since the Warforged said about 3 months. She's curious of if it was wrong or not, and she once she sees everyone coming out, she was considering using her wild shape to go get an aerial view of the land.
Sure. So this is while the guys are inside.
Yes.
That'll end the thing. Okay. Yeah. So before the Warforged and the small child, I take it you're taking the form of like a hawk or something like that.
A giant hawk. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. You just kind of morph. You just seem to just jump up into the air, and kind of as you do that, your arms and legs kind of come in, you grow feathers, and you just fashion yourself into this bird, and you fly straight up into the sky. You don't even take the time to kind of look behind you to see the surprised reactions of the two beneath you. But you soar up into the sky, and you could take in the entire walled boundary of this town. It's not a big town. You've walked through it before. You could get to the gates of this place in just a couple of minutes. You can see it is the only entranceway into this village as well. You do see a little camp outside the village, and there's no destroyed structures. Like Mina was asking about the stables, that's still there. The only very much so damaged structure is the theater that had the hole kind of in the ceiling just knocked through it, but everything else is covered in this stuff. In this town and outside it.
Outside it as well.
How far is it?
To a lesser extent outside, but yeah, it's kind of spilling out outside the city walls.
If I don't see anything else of notes, I am going to fly back down.
You are the only bird in the sky as well. You notice there are no crows or little blackbirds or anything like that flying around.
Wow.
So I just see the nothing. Like
you don't see any.
You know what I mean?
You don't see any other living things.
Stand out like a sore thumb.
Well, you said I saw a campfire?
No, you saw a camp.
Camp. Does it look active from where I am up in the air?
Hard to tell. It's daytime. The fire isn't lit or anything like that. You don't see anyone there, so it's a little bit hard to discern. It's just outside the city gate.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back and land and return for my wild shape back in front of the girl in the Warforge.
And yeah, the guys are just about to come out of the house when you land back down, and they go, "Good God!" The little girl says, "Christina, I didn't know you could do that. That is, wow."
Shh.
And she just kind of stops, and it's as if she did something wrong. And Scraps is just looking at you, saying, "That is quite unusual. I can integrate things into my body, but I cannot change it like you do. That is a very unusual talent."
Yes, it is, but I prefer if both of you kept quiet about my abilities.
Yes, indeed. And at that point, then that's when everyone kind of spills out of the house, and then Shadar and the Duke have that little altercation. So yeah, you are all fully equipped again, I believe.
Yep.
Alfred hasn't got his gear yet, has he?
Well, he has some-
No, we have to go to somewhere here, isn't it?
I believe Alfric actually, he didn't have any. Did you have any physical weapons?
No, I was going to say I carry most of my things with me. I didn't know if there would be anything
So he actually
extra that might have been dropped off there, but
So you
Yeah,
wouldn't
most
have
of
needed
the
to in
things I
that
need.
case because the only things that were prohibited were really just weapons and armor, and Alfric has neither of those.
Well, as an
Yeah.
older gentleman, I'm sure there's a collection of Werther's originals and handkerchiefs you'd like to pick up.
That's up to you. Yep, you can.
Oh, it's a team burn.
You can totally go back and have a look inside.
I'd
Galfon's
certainly
house.
like to investigate it at some point, especially as it's been 3 months. I would like to know if perhaps he
Yeah.
returned and was
They're very soft
beset by
stage.
illness or anything like that.
Well, I would like to inform the party about what I saw, not giving a reason how, but I informed them of what I had seen.
Okay.
So am I to understand that you're keeping the fact that you can wild shape a secret?
Have my little friend says I have one of the bees.
Okay. There's
Well, it's
nothing.
good to know that this devastation doesn't extend out too far.
Well, now that we're all suitably equipped, Nina, I know you said your plans are to leave this place as quick as possible. Would anybody be interested in maybe returning to the theater and trying to determine the origin of this curse or this explosion, or maybe do a more considered investigation?
I would be most interested in doing that. However, first of all, I really must stop off at the house of Master Ilamis next door. I'd be
Well,
terribly dismayed if any harm had befallen him.
To who do you refer?
Oh, Galfon Ilamis, he's an incredibly experienced, incredibly wise mage. In fact, if anyone in the locality knows perhaps how to get to the bottom of this, it would be him.
Very well.
I believe our list should go as we bring Alfric to investigate his host, and then we find somewhere as secure as possible for the civilians, and then after that, depending on what Miss Mina wants to do about her steed, then after that it was definitely to the theatre to discover what mysteries we missed.
Seems a very wise course of action.
I approve.
Well, I do mention, I bring up that I was told of the campsite just outside.
Ah,
How did you
okay.
come by this information, my friend?
I point to the bee in my hand.
Shadar recoils briefly.
that's fascinating.
It'd bring you a note? How do you communicate with a bee?
How
Do
far
you
away
really
was
wanna
this
know?
camp?
Just outside the gates.
Well, with any luck, there may be some other living souls there.
Yes.
With any luck, they'd be able to tell us more about what's going on.
Well, quite.
Sounds reasonable.
In any case, I shan't be going anywhere else until I've had a look at Master Ilimis's house.
I will join you, my friend.
Yes, lead the way.
I suppose we should grab the other NPCs as well.
Yep, I'll bring him along.
I look to Scrap and the child. Say, come along,
sorry.
let's go see if we can find your parents.
And yeah, the little girl is, she's starting to sob a little bit because she's looking around the town and she sees that it's completely been overtaken by this stuff. And Scraps is just kind of taking her by the hand and leading her along.
Shadar is visibly irritated by her sobbing.
Okay, that's acceptable. But so Elfric, you make your way down the kind of central marketplace, and you go up to this like small little shack that you're aware. Well, it's not a shack; it's a house, but
Yeah.
it's a much smaller residence than any of the other establishments around the place. And, yeah, you don't need to like check and see if it's locked or anything like that because you have keys. So I will open this for you.
Wonderful.
And inside Galfon's house, just like everywhere else, it's completely ruined. The purple ooze squelches out of the porous fungi hanging in a drooping fashion along the walls, and you do see that there's like a mop and a bucket and a dustpan and brush kind of working tirelessly by themselves without anyone holding them, just trying to like clean up this place, but to no avail because the house is deteriorating. Looking around, can you make a investigation check?
And indeed. 22.
Oh, wow, 22, okay.
Jeez.
So over here, this little cabinet was where you saw that Galfon stored an awful lot of his potions and brews and things like that. Now it's been toppled over, and most of them are, well, all of them, all the glass ones are completely destroyed. But there was one that was kept at the back that you didn't notice before. And if you hadn't have looked as closely as you did, you would have missed it because it was a metal container and it had rolled underneath the table.
Interesting. Okay, well I'll snatch that up.
Yep.
And is it secured? Is it openable?
It is openable, but it is like closed, and it's, as I said, it's in this metal container, and there is a label on it saying this shouldn't be drank by anyone under, and the rest is just blotted out conveniently. So
well,
shouldn't be drank by anyone under something.
Anyone under something. Well, I could take a sniff of it.
Yep.
And see if that see if anything might be learned.
Yeah, so it kind of smells like, that kind of like acetone smell, like a real strong kind of alcoholic, like, the scientific kind, no, not the recreational kind.
Recreational kind?
Yeah, booze, mead.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Ale.
Acetone.
That not acetone. I would not advise drinking acetone, but that's what it smells. That's what it smells like.
Interesting.
Sorry, acetone's not even an alcohol; it's a ketone. But never mind. Yeah, that chemically smell.
Well, I suppose I'll just pocket it for the time being.
Okay.
I assume there's no sign of the man himself.
There is no sign of the man himself. And just to let you know as well, when you did open it, you kind of would have appeared inside as well. It's a kind of dark bluish color with kind of bubbles just bloop, bloop, bloop after coming up from the top. And it just seems a bit bitty as well, which is a little bit gross, but there you go.
Interesting.
Cool.
But yeah, the rest of the place is kind of just torn about. It's doesn't seem to be any signs of, not that, like, it's hard to tell because the house is in a very dire state of disrepair, but it doesn't look like anyone has, like, the chemical shelf didn't look like it's been ransacked. It's just been knocked over by,
the events.
Exactly. Yeah. So
what of his books and parchments and notes? Is there anything that looks at all recent?
Looking over the bookshelf over here, all the books that were there before you see are there. Nothing's been moved or added.
Well, it doesn't look as if Galfond has returned. I don't think there's any more good to be done here.
Indeed. And I think with the search of Galfond's house and figuring out what to do next in the town, I think that's a good place to leave it for this evening as well.
Okay.
I just want to thank everyone for coming along to watching the first episode tonight, and I want to just thank you guys as well, the players, and Christian for doing everything.
Mark. Thank you for DMing.
Yeah,
for
thank
us.
you for DMing.
Thank you.
Very
for allowing
intriguing.
us.
Thanks for watching.
And also writing such a great story.
No matter at all. Big thanks to Christian as well, doing everything in the background.